Hockey takes center stage once again at the Saddle Dome as the Broncos and Hitmen series shifts to Calgary for games 3, 4, and 5. So far this postseason, the Hitmen's offense has relied on a heavy dose of TJ Gagliardi. Playing alongside Kyle Bortis and Brandon Kozun, Gagliardi has a playoff best 17 points in 8 games. A pattern the Broncos will need to change if they intend on playing another game at home this year. Do you believe in the power of 3? Find out next on Strauss Herb WHL Hockey on Shaw. Two nights ago, Feist was the big winner here at the Penn Girls Saddle Dome, taking home 5 Juno Awards. Tonight, the Calgary Hitmen and Swift Current Broncos take center stage, hoping a win will come as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. Good evening and welcome to Strauss Herb WHL Hockey on Shaw. I'm your host, Dan Elliott, coming to you live from the concourse of the Saddle Dome. Now, with this series tied at 1 game apiece, the advantage has to go to the Hitmen, as 4 of the next possible 5 games between these two teams will be played right here. However, so far this postseason, Kelly Kissio's team has struggled on home ice, winning just 1 of their 3 games. For the Broncos, who of course upset the Regina Pats in the first round, playing on the road just comes with the territory of being the underdog. Just another hurdle they will need to overcome if they hope to move on to the Eastern Conference Final. With more on tonight's pivotal Game 3, let's go upstairs and check in with our 2 play-by-play men. That, of course, would be Dan Russell and Bill Wilms.
Thanks very much, Dan. From my perspective, it's been an interesting series. From Swift Current Broncos standpoint, I'm sure they felt they got better as Game 1 went along, but not so much in Game 2. Either way, Bill, both games quite a bit different.
They really were. I mean, it took Swift Current a little bit to get going. They fell behind 2-0 in their building, and I thought they got their feet underneath them and then began to feed off the crowd. You know, this is Alsner opening the scoring, but once they got it going, they got a lot of second effort goals. I thought Cody Eakin, Levi Nelson was great. Tassoni combined with him. They had guys going to the net, and they just fed off a real loud building that really motivated that team.
And here was game number 2, and Calgary really took control of this game.
Boy, I'll tell you, you can see where Gagliardi, Kozun, and Bortis, Dan, they are the top scoring line in the Western Hockey League playoffs right now, and it's a lot about skill when you can move pucks from that spot to that spot, back to that spot. Sometimes you got maybe eyes in the back of your head, and that's a very good Calgary win in Game 2.
Okay, Dan Elliott mentioned the Junos. That's why we're in a 2-3-1-1 format. The next 3 games here in Calgary, and so the Hitmen, if they're great on home ice, they could finish this series before going back for a Game 6 in Swift Current, and Game 7 is the following Monday if needed. Now, these two teams, they know about going the long haul. They've gone 7 twice in the only 2 meetings they've had.
Dan, the real key to this series, and I was speaking with Coach Chenault earlier, is how well do you bounce back? It's all about making adjustments. The adjustments in this series are not X's and O's adjustments. It's bouncing back and coming with your full force, coming with your artillery that both teams have.
All right, let's get more from a Swift Current standpoint, and let's welcome Cam Moon. He has the captain of the Broncos, Zach Smith.
Zach Smith of the Swift Current Broncos. Zach, last time the Broncos were here in Calgary, February 10th, you come out with a 2-0 victory. Does that help you guys a bit coming into this game?
Yeah, I mean, we know we can win here, and obviously, like you said, we've done it before, and I don't remember much from that contest except Travis Yonkin played great, so hopefully he can put up the same effort tonight.
How tough is it playing against this Calgary D? They got some big guys. They got some of the best defense in the Western Hockey League. As a forward, what do you have to do against them to have success?
Oh, yeah, they're good D, but I mean, we match up well against them. We're a good skating team. We got some quick players, and we just got to make sure we're getting the puck deep on them, like hitting them. Wearing them down will be a big part of the series, and I think with our speed, we'll be all right.
Zach, it's been a pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you.
Zach Smith to the Swift Current Broncos. We'll send it back upstairs.
Okay, thanks, Cam. It's going to be interesting to see how Calgary plays in their own building. That might sound a little bit funny because they haven't been as good at home as they have been on the road. But that big line of Gagliardi, Kozun, and Bortis were sure good the other night.
TJ Gagliardi, like I've said about a lot of top-end players, Dan, he's got points in 9 of his last 10 games, but here's the key. I think he was more motivated by the points he didn't get in game 1, and he really brought it in game 2 there. He did get 4 points, Gagliardi did, but you know what? He can't do it without the rest of his line mates, and whether it's Kozin making passes or Bordas going to the net, the key there is they are a terrific line, and they really are anchored by who I think is the best passer in the Western Hockey League, and that's TJ Gagliardi.
2 goals and 2 assists in game 2, and he's standing by with Cam.
TJ Gagliardi of the Calgary Hitmen. TJ, last game, 4 points for you. You're leading the WHL with 17 points so far. Tell me what was going right for you last game.
I think we're just working hard and getting pucks low and cycling hard on them and getting pucks to the net, and they just happened to go in. I got first goal just going hard in the net and putting it on net, and it went in.
You get back to the Pengros Saddle Dome here. You guys haven't played at home for a little while. Do you feel it's an advantage playing at home?
Well, yeah, we've been away from the Saddle Dome for a while here with the Junos and whatever else, the Flames playing too, but it's good to get home. We're comfortable here. Our record hasn't really shown it very well during playoffs 1 and 2, but we're looking to change that, hopefully just starting 1 game at a time tonight.
TJ, you're doing a heck of a job. Thanks for this.
Thank you.
TJ Gagliardi of the Calgary Hitmen. We'll send it back upstairs.
And your goaltending matchup, the same tonight, Travis Youngman, and we talked about his shutout in this building, 2-0 last time here, and Dan Spence, goalkeeper for the Calgary Hitmen. Back to you, Dan.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Well, we're moments away from the drop of the puck, so stick around. Strout Serve WHL Hockey is coming up next, right after this.
And a pleasant good evening again from the broadcast booth at the Calgary Saddle Dome, getting ready for Game 3 of a series that is tied 1-1. There's the Swift Current Broncos head coach Dean Chenault, and their record in the playoffs, Kelly Kissio guiding the Calgary Hitmen, just 1-2 so far on home ice in these playoffs. The officials for tonight's games, we have a pair of referees, both in their 6th year. Devin Klein, 33 years old, from Medicine Hat. He's a police officer, by the way. And Derek Zalaski, 32 years old, from Edmonton. Swift Current in the dark uniforms will go left to right, and game number 3 of round number 2 is underway, with Calgary winning possession of the opening faceoff. And here's Carl Elsner. Elsner gets the puck up for Kozin, or to Ryan White rather, as it's sent in, and Nixon gives chase. Ryan White was dumped. Now it's controlled by Swift Current, and it's Keegan Dansereau, who knows this building oh so very well, having played all those years with the Calgary Hitmen. And the net has been dislodged, so we get our first whistle 24 seconds in.
Both teams have combined for 130 shots on goal in the first 2 games. That's averaging 65 per game. And when you are exchanging a lot of scoring chances like that, sometimes the difference is your second effort. And that is both on offense and on defense. And we've seen that a couple times on Swift Current goals. A lot of second effort has resulted in a couple goals that they've scored. So we'll look for that to maybe be a difference.
Calgary Hitmen in possession. That's Seabrook trying to make a pass through the neutral zone. Couldn't get the puck to Golachich, so Seabrook tries the other way, and out they come. McMillan hits the Swift Current blue line. His shot onto Yonkman, his first touch of the puck here in game number 3. Molly gets the puck for the Broncos, gets it out to the neutral zone. Seabrook again organizing, but gave the puck away. There's a centering pass, they score! Swift Current jumps on the board early. It's Dale Weiss right on the doorstep after the turnover in the Calgary zone. And in the first minute of game 3, Swift Current leads 1-0.
Well, that's oh so important, those turnovers. You've got teams that can score, Dan. Get that puck in deep like that. You'll see the little bit of a giveaway in that corner right there. And how does Weiss stay all by himself in front of the net? Points over, says, yes, absolutely, you found me. That's exactly what you want me to do. You see 2 hitmen there, Sawney, and it also looks like Keith Seabrook, both very focused on the corner of the ice, the corner of the rink. Dale Weiss, all alone in front of the net, takes that pass beautifully. So important for the Broncos to score first. They haven't done that in either game in Swift Current.
That's right. Elsner scored in the first 3 minutes of game 1, and Gagliardi in the first 9 minutes of game number 2. Trying to pick up the announcement, and we could not do so. This is a difficult building sometimes, believe it or not, to hear the announcements from way up here. We'll get the whole scoring play for you. As meantime, Bordas banging at the puck, and Seabrook, or goaltender Yonkman, able to jump on it. There's Kozin right there banging at the puck, but the Broncos hold it out.
Well, that's the line we talked about right at the top, and Kozin, Gagliardi, and Bordas come right back. They go to work on the offense. That's a pretty good bump-up shift. You've given up the first goal as a Hitmen have. You want to go right back down, get something going in that offensive zone. And, you know, Travis Yonkman doing such a good job for this Swift Current team. You know, you talk about Yonkman's last visit here, Dan, the shutout, 24 out of 24 shot saves. You know, even last year in Calgary, Yonkman came in here and stopped 48 out of 51 days in a 3-2 overtime loss. So he's been pretty good in this building.
Here comes Stieler in over the line for Swift Current. Stays with the puck, puts it in front, shot. Oh, and Spence comes well out to make the save on the guy who just scored the first goal. Weiss almost had his second one. Two great chances for Weiss in the first minute and a half of this hockey game. He scores on the first one, and he is just stopped by Spence, who charged out of his net to stop that one. So a great start here for Swift Current. They keep the puck in over on the far side. That's Dudas in the lineup, and we should talk about Jesse Dudas. He has not played in this series, been hurt since early in the Regina series. He wears number 7 for Swift Current, and he's back in their lineup here tonight. Flipped in by Weiss. Weiss must feel he's going to have a huge night tonight. 19 goals in the regular season, has 4 now in these playoffs. Alex Plant from behind his own net. Taking his time and then waiting for somebody in the neutral zone on the stretch pass. That's Nixon chipping it over to Duvel, who sends it in. Follows it up, puts it back of the net. There's Ryan White on the other side, but his head was up looking for a pass before he could settle the puck. And that's why it's out in the neutral zone. Sent back in again. Claffey's got the puck, gets it back again by way of Ryan Molly, and it's sent into Calgary territory. Spence out of his net. Backhands it along these near boards. Dansereau blocking it there for the Broncos. Comes back to Molly at the point. Long shot turned aside by Spence. Real good start here for the Swift Current Broncos. Lots of offensive territorial play. They've got an early goal. They've had another great chance. And we're only 3 minutes and 15 seconds into the first period. Plant try to settle things down a little bit for Calgary. Gets it over to Captain Elsner. And Plant gets possession, and they have lots of room to move it, or they did anyway, because Swift Current was making a full change. There's a long lead pass. Here's Gagliardi cutting in a goal shot, stopped by Yonkman. Gagliardi following it up again as he spins in that corner and then loses the puck. Broncos get possession. Here they come out of their own zone. That pass by McAvoy ends up on the stick of Galecki. His shot, that's turned aside. Swift Current player dumped back of the net. Play is allowed to continue. The Swift Current team getting their 4th line out. Talking to their coaching staff, they didn't get their 4th line out as much as they wanted to in game number 2. It was just the way the game played. And they are a team that relies quite a bit on playing all 4 lines when they can.
Well, you're in a bit warmer building here too at the Saddle Dome, Dan, and sometimes, you know, rolling that extra 4th line does make a huge difference.
Back of the net, it's controlled by Dan Mercer. Around these near boards, Golachich trying to force it out. Now it comes back towards the blue line area. Stamler puts it back to the net. That scoring play at 57 seconds. Dale Weiss from Zach Smith. Smith got the only assist on the goal as he made that great pass from the corner. And here comes Sawney for Calgary. Sawney has it roll off his stick, but he'll give chase in that corner. Sawney waiting for somebody to join him, and then finally it's Swift Current's Michael Wilson with possession. Stamler gets the puck up. Long time without a whistle here as it's flipped into Spence. Past the 5-minute mark. And here's Mercer. How many times already, Bill, has Calgary just parked themselves behind the net, only to look up and see all those dark-shirted Broncos there blocking or forcing bad passes like that?
Well, that's one thing that the Hitmen do well, is get that puck in deep. Both teams are good on the cycle. Hey, they're very, very good on the rush. That's been very obvious in the first 2 games played, but from what you can tell from both of these hockey clubs, when they can establish something on a cycle, they're pretty darn good too.
Weiss puts the puck back of the net. Controlled by Michael Stone. Then he's upended. Ryan White on these near boards, being checked there by Stieler. Weiss puts it behind the goal. Feldy trying to get a stick on it there. He does. Feldy, a little bit of room, puts it right in the goal crease area, and that was an opportunity again for Weiss. Or that was Stieler, rather, who had that chance. And Stieler, who goes to the bench, has the third real good scoring chance of this period for Swift Current. Broncos leading 1-0. Dancero flips the puck towards the front of the net. Here's a chance and a shot. They score! It's 2-0. Matt Tassoni pokes in his own rebound, and the Broncos, who are buzzing here, are really full value for a 2-goal lead.
And you watch Dancero on this play at the half wall, at the blue line against the boards. He creates this loose puck. That's some good work right in there. And Tassoni does the thing that he's got to do best. Take it hard to the net. That's a good play coming off that right side. Get a good look at it here. That's Dancero far left. Dump pass into Tassoni. That puck is batted out of the air, and he's got one thing in mind. Come off that right wing, get it to the net, and he's a good enough scorer. We talk about the 720 goal scorers this team had. Tassoni had 19 on the season, or it would have been 8.
Number 25, Keegan Dancero, and number 2, Eric Doyle. Time of goal, 6 minutes, 21 seconds. Tassoni is second of the playoffs from Dancero and Doyle at 6:21.
Okay, there's the scoring plays. Doyle getting the second assist. What a great start for Swift Current. Just what they would have hoped for on the road here in Game 3, Bill.
Oh, it's a terrific start. You scored twice in this building. We've talked about this before. The Calgary Hitmen, they've only scored 9 goals in this building and given up 9 in their 1 win and 2 loss record. And that's a bit of a concern, certainly, for Kelly Kissio. And you see their record against the Swift Current Broncos. But, boy, they've come into this building fired up. And as you talked about right off the top, Dan, they've had some success in this building, and you do build off that.
Last time in here was 2-0. It's already 2-0 for Swift Current. But we're still in the very early stages. Calgary so far really with the 1 scoring chance when they banged at the puck. Yonkman at the side of the net right after the 1-0 goal. Here's Gagliardi trying to throw it in front. Does, and wide open in front of the net was Kozin, but he couldn't pull the trigger. And back comes Zach Smith. Smith hits the blue line, puts it wide of the Calgary goal. Stone turns the puck over because there was no Hitman there. Over on the far side for Swift Current is Dowling. He takes a whack at it from a sharp angle, but Sonny's got it. Misses Bordis, goes down the ice, but there'll be no icing as Yonkman will play the puck. The shots early in the game are 6-3 in favor of Swift Current. Pass out of their zone. Golachich intercepts. Now it goes to Eakin. Number 21, the youngster who we were so impressed with, especially in Game 1. Out there for Swift Current. He's giving chase for the puck back to the net and comes up with it. Well, that's why we were impressed with him. Eakin puts on the brakes, then ducks the puck back to the net. There's the centering pass as they go to the cycle. Back in front for Eakin. It goes off his skate. The centering pass from Dowling was a good one, but Eakin was tied up. Golachich starts back the other way. He was dumped. Calgary, by the way, amazingly, we're into the 3rd game of the series, and they've only been on the power play twice, and they were both in the first game. They were not on the power play in game number 2. Spence will cover this one up.
Jesse Dudas drawing into the lineup tonight. Dan, he's only played 52 games on the season, and I'll tell you something, this guy needs another injury like a turkey needs Christmas. Believe me. There was some talk, Dan, when he was up at Prince George that he may have been a better defenseman than Ty Wishart. Problem is he never got to play that much. He's had some serious leg injury. He broke his wrist in Game 2 when hit from behind by Jordan Eberle. He has been a great acquisition by this Swift Current team, but he's only played 4 playoff games, 2 with Lethbridge in 05 and 2 so far here with the Broncos in 08. He's a big addition to that team. Let's hope he stays healthy.
That's not a good ratio. 4 playoff games in 4 years.
Yeah, go figure. But he's a Columbus draft. They love him.
And you see Ryan White out there, and he's playing in his 52nd playoff game here tonight for Calgary. Back at the net is Molly. Molly was able to move the puck. By the way, Molly is +6 so far in these 08 playoffs for Swift Current. That's him with the puck cutting in. Molly puts it at the side of the net, trying to control it there with Stieler, and he couldn't handle the pass cleanly. Feldy's got it as the Broncos again jumping on the Calgary Hitmen in the offensive zone, but it rolled off Feldy's stick, and that's why they have to come out here to center. It's Keegan Dancero now gaining the line, trying to split through, could not. There's a dump out to the neutral zone that was almost picked off. In comes Rowinski. Rowinski throws it in front of the net. Intercepted, and Swift Current has it. Matt Tassoni with the puck, and lots of room. There's 4 Broncos through the neutral zone. Pass to Nelson, and a return pass for Dansereau's behind them. Dansereau. Now Doyle outside to center and puts it back in. Spence will block it back of the net, leave it for Keith Seabrook. Seabrook trying to fight off checks. There's 2 Swift Current players in on those defensemen, and they are rushing Calgary at every opportunity. Maybe that's one of the reasons the puck's been in this zone so much. Dansereau throws it towards the front of the net. That's intercepted. Gagliardi has it, and out he comes. TJ Gagliardi is all by himself, but he shoots it off the stick of the last man back, Stamler, and it bounces over top the net. Calgary jumps on the rebound. Chance in front of the goal. Shot by Mercer, saved. Cozen throws it in front. Comes back to Elsner. His shot. Oh, and that went off Yonkman wide of the goal. Good shot by Elsner. Now it's controlled by Tassoni. He got it out to Nelson, but he's bumped off the puck, and the fast skating Cozen brings it back in over the blue line. He darts past one check, but he can't get the puck in deep. Gagliardi will get it in deep. Yonkman will leave it back of the net for Stamler. Past the halfway mark of the first period. Is a fast-moving first period, and a great one so far for Swift Current. They have both goals.
They lead on the shot clock, 7-5 as well. And Dan, that play has been on that side of the center ice area an awful lot this first period. Could not be a better start for the Broncos than what they've got right here so far tonight.
And we get a good look from way up high here in the Saddle Dome. We can see that the ice in the Swift Current zone is still gleaming, really. It's quite shiny. Whereas over there in the Calgary zone, there's a lot of skate treads already through it. McMillan has his shot blocked. We're going to get a penalty here, and well, Calgary's touched the puck, so we'll sort it out when we come back. Looks like Calgary's going to get the first penalty. 8:46 to go, first period. Swift Current leads Game 3, 2-0. You're watching the Western Hockey League playoffs on Shaw.
Here with Hitmen assistant coach Joel Otto. Joel, obviously not the start the Hitmen were looking for. What does the team have to do to turn the tide?
Well, right now we're just not competing at the level that Swift Current is. They've got the pucks in deep on us, exactly what our game plan was, and somehow we got to try to turn this around in our favor that way.
Looks like their forecheck's very intense.
Well, you know what? They got a very good skating club, and you know that's supposed to be our strength, and they're taking it to us in that department tonight. But the series has been like that, 2 good skating clubs, so I don't see any change in that.
Joel, thanks very much.
No problem.
Joel Otto, upstairs, you guys.
And his team is going to be short-handed down 2-0 here as the first penalty goes to McMillan. 2 minutes for hooking at 11:14. Broncos power play in the series is 2 for 8. In the playoffs, they are 8 for 49, which ranks them 13th amongst all the playoff teams that participated in the WHL playoffs here in 08. Let's see how they do on the first man advantage of game number 3 as Elsner on the far side can't get possession. Michael Wilson got the puck, got it down low. Here's an opportunity now for Woodrick. He plays it back to Doyle. Back over there to Wilson. Wilson and Doyle are the point men as they operate. And over there on the far side handling the puck was Weiss. He scored the first goal of this game. Doyle gets the puck down for Levi Nelson, but it rolls off his stick, and White sends it back into Swift Current territory.
Boy, you'd see how quickly Doyle closed the gap on White. There was no way White was going to make anything happen beyond that blue line. Good taking away time and space, even if it's on the penalty on the power play.
Stone got to the puck first, but he couldn't clear it around the boards. It was blocked. Here's a chance, and a great save by Spence off Smith with the left pad, and a bullet shot by Smith. He got everything, and Spence makes a great pad save. Smith all alone in the slot as that puck came to him in a hurry. Spence has already made a couple of big saves here, even though his team trails 2-0. Here's Smith again, shot, and Spence has that one too. This time there's no rebound, and good thing for Dan Spence if you're a Hitman fan, or it could be worse than 2-0.
Want you to watch the space that the shooter this time gets in that slot area right there. Zach Smith, look at that. He moved back about 10-15 feet. That was a perfect spot for Smith to take that shot. He took a nice feed from Dansereau in that position. Spence with a huge save. Another one right in that area. 2 chances. Finally, Spence makes the save and gets a whistle.
And as we come back to the game action, Calgary won the defensive zone faceoff and send the Broncos all the way back. And here they come with Jesse Dudas, but we've got a penalty being called here for interference, and there will go the Swift Current power play.
coming out of their own zone. This time the Swift Current Broncos, while on the man advantage, it's Smith being called for interference. Dudas is going to have the puck right there. Let's see where the interference occurs. Right at the blue line. Smith runs into the Calgary player, knocks him down. Easy call, simple call. Interference for Smith, and it's 4-on-4 for 25 seconds or less. At that point, it will be a power play for the Hitmen.
Visitors leading 2-0. There's been 50 games played so far in the 08 playoffs in the Western Hockey League. The road team has won 27 times. The home team has won 23 times thus far. 4-on-4 for another 10 seconds, and then Calgary will have their first power play since game number 1. And on that night, they went 1 for 2 with the man advantage, so that's where they sit in the season series. And the Hitmen power play in the playoffs is 10 power play goals on 44 chances. McMillan brings the puck in. TJ Gagliardi feeds the blue line. That's Postma. Seabrook on this side couldn't handle a pass cleanly. Plays it back to Postma. Throws it through traffic. That's intercepted. Seabrook, good job to keep that one in. Seabrook down to Kozin. Pass on the tape to Postma. Shot on goal. Stopped by Yonkman and no rebound.
Talking about the difference in playing schedules between college hockey and the Western Hockey League. Seabrook played 96 games 2 years ago. Played on that Burnaby team that had Kyle Torres with him. Then he goes back to Denver, plays 36 there last year. Now he's going to be probably 80 plus this season. And remember, you know what he said, Dan? He said that he probably got a little bit too pumped up for the college game. And so if you missed a bad game, you had a whole week to wait for it.
White gets the puck to Nixon, who gets it back again. Now to Elsner, shot stopped, and Yonkman controlling his rebounds when tested early here.
Well, Yonkman in good position, absolutely no second chance on that, and I think that Swift Current team will take these shots all day long from back out there. A lot of room for the goaltender to pick that up and makes that easy save right there for a face-off to his left.
That's 238 saves in the playoffs for Yonkman, number 1 in the Western Hockey League in terms of facing the most amount of shots in these playoffs. With Current sending Calgary all the way back. Elsner fell, but no Bronco around him. Stone plays it over there to Ryan White. Ryan White has moved into the top 10 of all-time Hitmen playoff scorers. Up for Nixon, putting on the brakes in that circle. Pass back to White. He couldn't unload the one-timer, but makes a nice move. Cuts in, tries to feed DeVell, but DeVell couldn't get the pass cleanly. DeVell from back of the net, battling with Wilson. Ian DeVell wins that, comes out of the corner with the puck and plays it back towards the blue line. Elsner's shot is blocked by Wilson, who sends it all the way down the ice. Just 12 seconds left in the penalty, so it looks like both teams will be 0 for 1 here in the first period of game number 3. Swift Current leading the game 2-0. Rowinski moving in, trying to follow up on the puck. It's still loose in the slot area. Shot, and Yonkman again makes the save. And I'm not sure he's given up a rebound yet.
Yeah, early in the game, guys, TJ Gagliardi took a high stick right in the mouth, and the trainers looked at him and fixed them all up, but his lips are inflating by the second, and I think they're going to try and keep the swelling down maybe after the first period, but good tough hockey player. He's right back in there.
Thanks, Cam. 5 minutes to go in the first period. Swift Current leading 2-0, but Calgary to the attack. Plant winding up, shoots! Oh, and that just deflects off the target. I think Chase Shaver got his stick on that one. Levi Nelson stripped of the puck. Shaver throws it at the net, but wide of it. Rowinski back of the net for Schultz. Shaver now comes back towards the line. Mercer gobbles up the puck, plays it to Plant. Plant tries to get it through traffic and did, but just missed the net. Mercer held it in only for a moment, and here's a break the other way. Potential break anyway for Keegan Dansrow, but he couldn't chase down the puck. Now he does. Keegan Dansrow strips Mercer of it, comes up with a loose puck. Dansrow throws it into the slot area. Shaver easily intercepts, dumps it out to the center ice area.
That's a good shift by Chase Shaver. Did a good job in the offensive zone, Dan, and then really aware defensively in his slot area back in the Calgary zone.
Now it's Michael Stone to Golachich. Bastian Golachich tips it in. McMillan from back of the goal couldn't get it. Smith has it, and out he comes. His pass ends up on his teammate Luis's stick only for a moment as the Hitmen send it all the way back in. Golachich intercepting. And now a shot there by Sonny goes wide. McMillan back to the line. Long shot. Sails wide of that Swift Current goal. Calgary coming on a little bit in the play here. Having said that, here comes Smith over the line, and his shot is deflected in the corner by Michael Stone. Kozin will try to dart out. Golachich up for Gagliardi. This is a break. Kozin's heading to the net. Can he get him the puck? No. Good job by Stamler. Kozin was just darting to the net. Kozin feeds Plant. Plant tries to feather it through for Bordas. Bordas gets it to Gagliardi at the side of the net. They bang at it, and Kozin's shot stopped by Youngman. Gagliardi back to Postman. Shot, score! Scores a much-needed goal for the Calgary Hitmen. A late first-period marker makes it 2-1.
He had some real good work inside that offensive zone before the goal was actually scored. This is Bordas getting in front of Kozin. But you know what? You like the way the Hitmen come from that scrum in front of the net. Who darts out of that scrum? Is that Kozin? He gets it back to Postma. And that's the value, Dan, of two things. Number one, being a guy like Kozin in front of the net that gets away from traffic. He's not the biggest guy. Watch him here. He darts on it. Look at how he comes away from that. No, it's Gagliardi. He knows where he's going with that puck. That's the good hands, the good eyes, and he gets it back to Postma. Shot on net, and it was this time with 2:50 left in the first period. A huge goal.
Assistant number 9, T.J. Gagliardi. And the number 15, Brendan Kozin.
17:04 the time of that scoring play, and it is the fourth of these playoffs for Postma. And you could kind of feel the tide just turning ever so slightly as Calgary had 2 or 3 good shifts in the Swift Current zone. Probably that power play set up a little bit of that momentum. They didn't score with the man advantage, but started getting back at a little bit more territorial edge. And here they are again with a good bump-up shift potentially as Nixon and Smith try to combine. Now Ryan White's got it. White. Duvel. Brock Nixon pinned up back of the net. He tries to squirt free off Molly. Ryan White pokes it free back of the net. Duvel's in front. Here's Nixon. Wrap around attempt. Banging at the puck. Still loose, and there'll be a penalty. That's a great effort there by Brock Nixon. He draws the penalty, and Calgary has come alive here.
I like what Nixon does here in terms of looking for a lane, and it wasn't a big one to get it right in that spot there. Take it to the net, and then there's a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving. Claffey in front, and finally I think it's Eakin that throws Nixon to the ice, but all of that doesn't happen unless Nixon has the presence of mind to come from the corner, try to jam it into that traffic area right there. And it is Eakin for holding.
Is it Eakin or is it Claffey? I think it's Claffey, even though it looked like it was Eakin initially.
Well, you could have called probably either one of the two of them, but you're right, it is Claffey on the board.
So second power play for Calgary here, and first one was an abbreviated one. Here's T.J. Gagliardi. In over the line. Smith tries, or Kozin tried to find Seabrook, intercepted by Smith, and down the ice it goes. Well, it was already a big lift for Calgary just to get one in this period. If they could get another one, that would be, I think, pretty huge, don't you think, for the Hitmen?
It wouldn't be a whole lot different than what happened in Game 1 in Swift Current when the Broncos took a 2-0 lead. You're right.
They've often said that's the most dangerous lead in hockey. This series might be punctuating that so far. Here's Elsner to Bordas, back to Elsner. One-timer over top the net. Rebound off the glass. Wide open in front of the net. But the puck wouldn't land flat for Kozin. And Elsner back to get it. Up for Ryan White. White trying to spin off a check. Does a good job of doing that, but it goes off Elsner's skates. And back the other way comes Cody Eakin. Eakin going in hard, shot, and Spence has it. What a nice play by young 16-year-old Cody Eakin while shorthanded.
And look at what he does here, Dan. He picks that puck up high in his own slot, killing the penalty, going up the ice, and there's a bit of a stumble by the defenseman. Is that Stone? And boy, he can almost make some pay for it. Can this kid skate? Can he fly? And can he get that puck on the net? Spence not too sure exactly where it was.
2 goals in these playoffs, 11 in the regular season, 29 last year as a midget. This guy's got a lot of potential scoring, and not shy about darting to the net, is he? Nixon, Dasani, back to Nixon. Nixon trying to come off the corner board. 16 seconds to go in the period. Elsner over to Stone. Back to Elsner. Over to Brock Nixon. Back to Elsner. Here's his shot. That's knocked down. Broncos get it. Can they get it out? Yes, they do. And that may do it for the period. Although here comes Nixon with one more chance in front of the net. And the horn sounds to end the first period. Kind of a tale of 2 periods. The first 60 or 70% of it was Swift Current. But I thought the last 30% of that period belonged to the Calgary Hitmen.
Well, even that last little play, Dan, that was broken up, the shot from Alsner at the point was Cody Eakin that got a stick on it to stop that play, that puck from actually getting to the net. But a huge goal to make it 2-1. Obviously a terrific start for the Broncos to get out of that first period with a 2-0 lead, and then deserved it. I think they established a good presence in that Calgary zone, and that's something they haven't done a real lot. Did none of that really in game 2.
Will that late first period goal discourage Swift Current in any way? Because Calgary is coming on.
You know, and I've said this right from the get-go, whatever one of these 2 teams, Dan, bounces back and responds to that kind of stuff is going to win this series. And I think because both teams are able to do it so well, I think it's got 7 games written all over it.
Well, maybe it does. It's hard to know. Right now, the goaltending is a big story. Even though there were 3 goals in that period, I thought the goalies made some fine saves. Let's go downstairs to camp.
The Calgary Hitmen here, Paul. How big was that goal you got? You're 4th now in the playoffs, but to help turn the tide, how big do you think that goal is going to be?
Absolutely. I mean, we didn't come up to the start we wanted to. 2 goals down early, but that late one really is going to help. Maybe get a bit of momentum going into the second here.
Tell me about the speed of the Swift Current Bronco team. Is it difficult to contend with?
We weren't surprised by it. They have great team speed, and we just got to counterattack with our own. And both teams have great team speed, and I think we should be okay.
How special is this series for you? You played 2+ seasons with the Broncos. Now you're facing them in a playoff series. How much fun you having?
Oh, it's a blast. First few games quit, and there's got a few games under my belt though, and definitely have some friends over there. But when it comes to the rink, it's strictly business, and my only friends here are the ones in the dressing room with me right now.
Paul, thanks very much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Paul Postma, the Calgary Hitmen. Dan, send it to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Cam. Got to love that toothless grin he's got going there. Coming up in the first intermission, Broncos assistant GM Elton Moberg will join me here ringside, or on the concourse rather, to talk about the success of his team throughout the playoffs thus far. Plus, Cam will make his way up here to the concourse to talk more about the first 20 minutes of play, as well as check in around the rest of the league. 2 other games going on tonight. That's all coming up next right here on Strauss Herb, WHL Hockey on Shaw. Welcome back to the Saddledome. Farley the Fox doing his thing in the first intermission, and we're doing our thing here on the concourse. I'm pleased to be joined by Broncos assistant GM Elton Moberg. Elton, thank you very much for stopping by.
No problem.
Well, I guess to say we'll just start off with that first period. You have to be pretty happy with the first 20 minutes of play from your team.
Yeah, I mean, it was exactly what you want. You come into this building on the road, first game in here, and you want to get a start, and I thought we did that. I thought we came out, our energy level right through the first period was real good. So I think 2-0, which was exactly what we wanted.
Swift Current fans.
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of people kicking around. I think obviously Calgary came on in the back half, which you knew they would once we got up 2 goals. I think it was very reminiscent of the way game 1 was, where we came out a little nerved up.
I want to ask you about the building of this team, because obviously we're seeing a ton of speed from your team out there. When you're drafting guys, when you're looking for guys, because of the way maybe the game has changed a little bit, giving guys a little bit more room, is that what you're looking for now, instead of maybe the bigger guys looking for the guys who can skate a little bit more?
Well, it's funny because Jamie Porter is our director of player personnel now, and 2 years ago when we were in the middle of the draft and we were picking 6th overall, and we had discussions about some players, and Cody Eakin's name came up, and obviously the rules had just changed from an NHL standpoint at that point, or at least they started being enforced. And when we talked about Cody, I mean, that's the one thing he brings, is such good wheels and such a high energy level, and we just thought it was a perfect fit. And I think you're going to see and are seeing probably in the Western Hockey League a lot of that right now. There's a lot more smaller guys in the league who can really wheel, and they're having an impact. Brandon Cozen would be another good example. Absolutely. With Calgary.
Yeah, no, and well, you guys have had some great success with the draft. Obviously, Jody Woodrick, another one of your first round picks. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's sometimes hit and miss with the draft, but what is it for you guys to make sure you're trying to find the best product out there?
Well, I think, your scouts go out, they look at all the players over the course of the year. You want to find the intangibles in players. I think when you go out there, most everybody can see the guys who can skate and the guys who can have some size, but you try to find them the ones that have some character and some hockey smarts, some intelligence to them. And I think everybody's trying to do the same thing. You're trying to find those kind of players. For us, we've been had the good fortune or maybe bad fortune of drafting fairly high in the last little while, which I'm hoping we don't have that fortune in the next little while.
Well, we got about a minute left here. I want to ask you, it's been since 1993 the last time a Saskatchewan team won the WHL championship. Of course, that was the Swift Current Broncos. For you guys, I mean, what does it mean for your town in Swift Current to be involved in the playoffs and be going this far? Because from the games that we saw in games 1 and 2, it looked like it was a pretty exciting atmosphere.
Well, people are excited back in Swift Current, and so they should be. It's been a while. 2002 is the last time we were in the second round, and I think our entire community is really pumped up about it, and it's great for us. I mean, obviously, every team needs to have that, to have a run, at some point. And I think you look at the Kelownas, they've had their run, and Medicine Hat's had their run, and everybody takes a bit of a turn. You just hope you can not only just do it one year, but kind of roll with it for 2 to 3.
Well, thank you very much for stopping by, and best of luck the rest of this game and the rest of the series.
All right, thanks a lot.
Eldon Moberg, the assistant general manager for the Swift Current Broncos. We've got to take a quick break. With Cam Moon coming up next, right here on Stroh's Herb, WHL Hockey on Shaw. After one period of play here at the Saddledome between the Hitmen and Broncos, the Broncos with a 2-1 lead. Dale Weiss, Matt Tassoni scoring for the Broncos. Paul Postma getting the goal back for the Calgary Hitmen. And joined here now by Cam Moon. Man, you're all over this building. Good to see you're getting some exercise.
Yeah, I'm moving around a little today.
Well, I want to ask you about that first 10 minutes for the Calgary Hitmen, because they absolutely looked stunned coming out of the gate, and Swift Current really jumped all over them.
Yeah, I give the Broncos credit. What a great first 10 minutes by them. A tremendous forecheck. They were really in on the Calgary Hitmen, and when they weren't in a situation where the puck could be battled for in a corner, they were able to back off a bit and clog things up. And Calgary was looking for that stretch pass more often than they weren't, but it wasn't there very often. I thought the Broncos did a great job of taking away that stretch pass, and as a result, it nullified Calgary getting out of their own end.
Yeah, you saw it a couple of times there with Alex Plante behind the net. This is the first-round draft pick of the Edmonton Oilers. You figure you wouldn't have trouble breaking out his own end, but just some of the confusion that Swift Current is throwing their way rattled them a little bit.
Yeah, well, if you don't have anybody open, it's pretty hard to get a pass to somebody, but that's a credit to the Broncos. They had a great start in the period. Calgary weathered the storm somewhat, albeit they gave up 2 goals, but that one by Postma pulls them right back into the game. It gets the crowd back into it, and at least gives them a good mindset going into the second period.
Now, I want to ask you about, because Swift Current's a speed team, they go out there, they're trying to get around. They're not a ton of physical. They're not going to drop their mitts, especially when you're trying to set the tone of the game in early. Does that maybe throw off Calgary a little bit, who doesn't mind taking the physical style of play?
Well, I think the speed of the Swift Current Broncos can be very, very dangerous. And the Regina Pats can attest to that. And anybody in the Eastern Conference that's played Swift Current this season can attest to how fast these guys are. And it's not just one line or one set of defense. Like, they're pretty deep that way as far as speed goes. So, maybe they're not a team that's going to run you out of the building or drop the gloves and you have a little bit of a melee. No, you're not going to see that from the Broncos, but you are going to see a team that skates really well, and I think that really works in their favor, especially in their rink where the ice is maybe the best ice in the WHL. They keep it a little colder in there. It's nice and chilly, and it makes the ice really good.
Now, I want to ask you also about Jesse Dudas back in the line for Swift Current. He's been out since Game 2 of that series with Regina. He had the broken wrist. I know he's wearing a playing cast. Nice addition to have him back on the blue line.
Well, that helps him a ton. Early in the first round, when the Broncos were without Dudas and Michael Wilson, it was really wondering whether they were going to be able to make their way through the series, given that 2 of their best defensemen are out of the lineup, or 2 very good defensemen are out of the lineup. You get Wilson back a few games ago, and now Dudas back in there. That helps him a ton. And yeah, he's a little bit banged up, but he didn't look any worse for wear in that period.
All right, let's move on to some of the other series that are going on. Kootenay and Lethbridge, man, this is a pretty interesting series. Kootenay could easily be up 2-0. The game 2, ridiculous. Lethbridge was leading 4-0 with 12 minutes left. They blow that lead. They go to overtime. Fortunately for Lethbridge, they get the win, but I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is Lethbridge must be pretty happy they're coming out with the 1-1 series tie. Well, even though, I mean, easily could be 2-0 for them. Or the other way.
Sure. Well, yeah, and that clears it right up, doesn't it, Bill? But it just says how close these two teams are in the standings. They were evenly matched. And I know Kootenay had the advantage over the Hurricanes during the regular season. They only lost one of the 6 meetings between the two teams. But even still, you get to playoffs. These two teams are very good. I think it's a pick'em series going into it. I still think it's a pick'em series. The Kootenay Ice are tremendously talented, but so are the Lethbridge Hurricanes. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure the Lethbridge Hurricane fans were really wondering what was going on as they tanked that 4-0 lead in the third period. You don't see that happen very often in today's day and age.
Well, especially with a team that's in the conference semifinal. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all the time we got for you right now. You got to go back down and do some more work down there by the benches. But we're going to take a look now at the out-of-town scoreboard. I think we have a couple of games to pass your way. You bet. And speaking of that Lethbridge-Kootenay series, Kootenay is up 1-0 despite being outshot 17-6 in that first period. John Negrin, he has got the lone goal. That came on the power play. Of course, special teams always so big. That series, of course, tied at 1. That's in the second period of play. One other game going on tonight. It is Tri-City and Seattle. This one just getting underway. Of course, Tri-City coming off that 4-0 win in Game 2. These two games in Seattle, 1-1 in that one. Of course, Vancouver, Spokane, the other series, they're off tonight. They will be back at it tomorrow night in Vancouver. All right, we're getting closer here to the beginning of the second period. Time now to check back in with Dan and Bill to get their thoughts through 20 minutes of play. Guys?
Thanks very much, Dan. You know, they're going through the out-of-town scores. There's not one series, I know I speak for Bill, there's not one series in round 2 that doesn't interest us. I mean, they all look like great series, don't they?
They all look like long series,
and they all look like long series. This was a great start tonight, as Cam and Dan just mentioned, for the Swift Current Broncos. The first 10 minutes was awesome.
Well, you get a goal in the first minute, and it's all a result of a good stretch pass right there. We talked about that all night, you know, staying on side. I think that giving that puck away has still been a bit of a problem. Watch Seabrook here. He passes it right onto the stick of the Swift Current player, Zach Smith, and he throws it all the way to the front of the net in a hurry to Weiss. Makes that play happen. Dan right there, 25. Watch him take that hit. You got to take a hit to make a play. He gets it to Tassoni. Tassoni into the front of the net, and very quickly, Swift Current with a 2-0 lead. Now, this is a goal scored by Postman. Why don't you watch a couple things? There's traffic in front of the net, and it's a guy that's such a good passer, Gagliardi, that gets it back there. But watch on this next shot that. Watch in front of that. We stop it right here. Look at the traffic jam. Watch Gagliardi come away from that. Bang! He gets out of there. Dudas is chasing him. He knows where he's going with it. Gets it back to Postman. The shot and some real good traffic in front of the net. I think we got one more look at this from the high level right here. There he goes. Gagliardi back to the point. Coles it in front. Sticks around. Bit of a screen. And that was a big goal by Postman to get Calgary within 1.
Two big things in this first period in my mind. That goal by Postman. But prior to that, Dan Spence made 2 or 3 great saves to keep the score at 2-0. So Calgary's very much in it. 2-1 after the first period as you look at Weiss, Tassoni, and Postma all scoring in that opening frame. Calgary outshooting Swift Current by a margin of 12-10. It's game number 3 from the Saddle Dome, and the second period comes your way next. You're watching the Western Hockey League playoffs on Shaw. Welcome back to the Calgary Saddle Dome. Dan Russell with Bill Wilms. 2-1 for the Broncos over Calgary. You know, starting this series, the Calgary Hitmen had 436 man games of playoff experience. Leading the way was Ryan White and Carl Elsner. Ryan White and Elsner each playing their 52nd game. The Broncos playoff experience, in comparison, they started this series with 276 man games, and they were led by Keegan Dansereau, who of course played most of them here in Calgary, 43 with the Hitmen, and now he has 52 games of total experience. So a bit of an edge experience-wise, Bill, in this series for Calgary. Will that pay off at some point, or has it already?
You know, that's hard to say. Again, you'd think it would. Obviously, guys like White, guys like Alsner have been there. But again, Carl Alsner's never played in a Western Hockey League championship game, never won a championship at the Western Hockey League level. So, you know, for all intents and purposes, some of these guys, even though they've had all the playoff experience, they haven't been as far as they'd like to get either. So this is a tough Swift Current Bronco team, Dan, and I'm not so sure experience might make that big a difference as you think it might.
You start this period with the teams at full strength. The players were scooting in the first period. Icing's going to stop the play here. 16 seconds in.
We talk a lot about the Gagliardi-Kozin-Bordas line with 9 points, albeit in game 2 for Calgary. But how about the Broncos line of Nelson, Tassoni, Dansereau? 8 points as well, Dan. They've really been a factor. And the key here is that the best players for both teams, at no time in the series can they go missing in action. They've got to be front and center every single game that's played.
I think we saw a strong period by both teams in so much of the 22 shots that were taken by 17 different players, so it was well balanced. That's a combined total in the first period. Calgary trying to center the puck, comes back to the line, a long shot is knocked down, and Levi Nelson has it. Nelson plays it back to Claffey. There's a giveaway though, as chance centering pass for White, but he couldn't come up with the loose puck. Now it's Elsner from the deep slot, gets another poke at it. Ryan White also poking at it. Yonkman gets his glove over top of it.
Keegan Dansereau's done a job offensively. This guy can do it at both ends of the ice. He certainly introduces himself, not that he has to. Ian Duval, they were teammates in the past, but that's when teammates go out the window, don't they? You're wearing an opposing sweater, you're fair game right now. Talk to you after the game, but not during it.
Dansereau had a point in the first period. That gives him 9 points in 7 games. So he's a hot Swift Current Bronco right now. Seabrook back to Postman, long shot. That sails wide of the net. A rebound off the backboards. Bordas and Gagliardi are there. So is Yonkman again, and he freezes it.
One of the real attributes, Dan, as far as I'm concerned, is when your leading scorer like Zach Smith is also voted by his peers as one of the 3 best defensive forwards in the conference. Now, Brandon Sutter was ranked number 1 and Ryan White number 2. That's pretty good company for that guy there, Zach Smith, to be third to. And as I said, top scorer for this hockey club. You know that he has bought into Dean Schnaufer's system.
Swift Current's Michael Wilson playing around these near boards. Gagliardi intercepts there. Kozin from back of the net being checked, but there's Kozin again ducking underneath the check and coming up with the puck. Ducks underneath another one. There's a third one by Kozin. Just another shift for Brandon Kozin where he's bumped and he ducks around and he keeps that puck in, but now we're getting a penalty and a hooking infraction, and I think you can credit Kozin, his good work leading to a Swift Current penalty, maybe not directly on him, but that territorial play.
Well, that's probably exactly what happened there. You know, with Dean Schnauth, he says that the 3 key moves that he made this year, 1 was getting Bretton Stamler from Edmonton for a mid-round Bantam pick. Number 2, getting Jesse Dudas from Swift Current for their backup goalie at the time, and Mark Guggenberger, the goalie that he has right now, for a mid-round Bantam pick.
There's Ryan White at the side of the net on the power play as they're banging at the puck. Duval now back to Stone. Stone takes a shot. Oh, a hard one went wide. Rebound, and it's redirected off the target. Stone had a good, low, hard point shot there. Here's Elsner sneaking in front for Duval. He can't corral it. Stone again will dump it down low to Nixon. Really low to Duval. Extremely low back there to White as he comes off the backboard. Centering pass. Elsner right there, and they can't bang it home. Yonkman's got it. Duval right on the doorstep with 2 or 3 other hitmen, and it's still a 2-1 hockey game.
Ryan White, when he gets the puck behind the net, he has a presence of mind right here to take it wide and let something build up in front of the net. And it sure does. There's 3 Calgary Hitmen in that zone right there. Good boxing out by the defense of the Swift Current Broncos. I think Moley right in the top of that, and really a good job by the goaltender to make that save. You know, they say that Travis Yonkman is as good a second effort goaltender as there is in the league. He showed it there.
There's a long shot by Seabrook. Gagliardi on the rebound. That goes wide of the net. Puck goes around the boards. Seabrook has to go back and chase it down. Seabrook comes out of his own zone. Long lead pass to Gagliardi, in over the blue line, drop pass, Bordas to Postma. Postma back to Bordas. A little bit of room over there. What's he going to do? He overskated almost, got it back again. There's a centering pass. Kozin wraps it around the boards to Postma. Postma plays it down with a half a minute to go. That's Kozin in the corner, Gagliardi in the slot, but Postma can't hold the puck in. Seabrook over on that far side. Here comes Kozin. Kozin, nice pass to Gagliardi, and a good save by Yonkman. Gagliardi gets the puck again, shoots it again, and Yonkman makes a fine save. Twice Gagliardi delayed his shot, and twice Yonkman outweighted him to make fine saves. There's a great pass in front as Bordas able to pick it out of the air, gets it to a dead tired Kozin, who is stopped by Yonkman. Some glorious chances for Calgary. Have the Broncos come back to full strength. Still a 2-1 hockey game, and here's Nixon stealing the puck, shoots! No, up the post. Some of the fans thought it went in on the inside of the goal post. That just wrapped off the post, and it was that close to being 2-all, and what a fast release by Brock Nixon. Yonkman's been great, but he got lucky there. Broncos flipping the puck into the Calgary zone. Now the first few minutes of the second period, kind of resembling the first few minutes of the opening period, except it's the different team putting on the pressure. Spence blocks it back to the net. Swift Current has not had a shot yet in this period. Calgary's already had 10 shots on goal, and we're not even 5 minutes into the second period. That's 10 shots and a goalpost that does not count as a shot on goal officially. Wilson back to the line. There's a shot that Spence saves, and his first one is a point shot. Here's another opportunity, and that's blocked by McMillan as Eakin took that shot from the deep slot. Now it's Swift Current's turn to put on a little bit of pressure. Dudas from back of the net comes back to Wilson. Wilson throws it in front. Through that traffic, Eakin couldn't get a stick on it. McMillan has it along these near boards, and he forces it out. White trying to jump on it. Intensity really picking up here in the second period. And that was after a pretty high-flying first period.
Both teams so good at generating scoring chances, Dan. They skate so well, the puck doesn't slow one guy up on the ice. I mean, they just go with it. They go 100 miles an hour. And what I like about it is so often a guy with the puck has got a moving target. Somebody's going hard without it, and it's so easy to complete that pass.
That one did not complete, a rare one that didn't. Goes all the way down the ice, but here's Swift Current, and they bust out of their own zone. There's 3 of them through the neutral zone. Weiss, nice pass over on the far side, and it just misses the intended target, and that was Feldy. Meantime, McAvoy's shot is blocked down. Feldy's jumping on the puck. He's over on this side now, and his shot is tipped out of play in the protective screen behind Dan Spence.
Two things. You got a great goaltender making some saves, and you got a lucky goaltender getting a post. This is Gagliardi with a pass in. A Bordas, he touches it over there to Kozin. Terrific save by the goaltender, Yonkman. And then, doink, off the post. And that's why this game is still a 2-1 Swift Current lead.
Wow. That was Brock Nixon's opportunity. Nixon did score in game number 2. He got the game winner. He has 4 in these playoffs. He scored 31 in the regular season, and there's a chance for Swift Current's Dancero, and it went wide of the net. Gagliardi slowed up a little bit. Elsner giving chase, gloves it ahead. Dancero was checking him. Molly getting a little bit of room up to Keegan Dancero. Dancero makes one move. Past Gagliardi, will get to the red line, he'll shoot it in. As he shoots it in, he ran into one of the Calgary players, Kozin. Now Elsner plays it back to Stone. Stone around on that far side to Ian DeVell, but he can't come up with it. Molly does. At the blue line, he tries to feed it down to Dancero. What a great job protecting the puck. Keegan Dancero couldn't get it in front of the net for Nelson. It is held in by Claffey, at least for the moment. Dancero again getting the puck. Now the whistle stops play, and we may get penalties here as Dix got up a little bit at the blue line. It has not been that kind of series, but we are going to get penalties on this play.
That might have been Dansereau's best shift of the entire series. This is off the face-off, 25 blue, gets away from one check, waits for a screen to build up. Shot just goes a little bit wide, and then just after that, look at him. He knows where he's going with that puck, fakes the pass, takes the shot. Then we came up to the center ice area earlier. He just ran over Brandon Kozin. Kozin went to check him. Dansereau dumped that puck in deep and just flattened him. That's maybe a good place for him to take a rest, because that was a terrific shift.
Or maybe not. He's the only one getting the penalty, and it's a power play for Calgary. Their fourth of the hockey game. The faceoff is deep in their zone, but they're going to get the puck as they announce the Dansereau penalty.
High sticking. Time penalty 7 minutes 1 second. Dansereau for high sticking at 7:01.
So Postma sends it in. Yonkman plays it around these boards. White cuts it off there. Ends up back to Postman. Long shot. That goes off a leg way up high and then into the screen. I think it hits Stamler, and we'll get a face-off in the Swift Current zone.
Let's have a look at what Dansereau, I think that's just after he flattened Kozin a lot. Oh, this is the high sticking penalty. You see it right there, but you know, on that last shot from the point, Stamler absolutely fearless in front of the net, took it right in the skate area. You know, one of the ways to discourage a penalty kill, Dan, is to get shots through on net.
Swift Current busting that up at the own blue line and sending it down the ice. 1:20 to go in the power play as Seabrook will start out of his own zone. Keith Seabrook has his pass finally end up on White's stick. White going low, throws it in front, score! Brock Nixon, 2-2 tie.
You know, two things. You have to be able to take the puck along the wall. Ryan White does that. Simply gets by Michael Wilson here. And then you've got to control that puck. Getting by there is one thing. Watch him control it, and then a perfect tip by Nixon in front of the net. You can't just be in the area. I think Jordy Woodruff is close to Nixon, but he doesn't check him, and he gives him a couple feet, and that's the difference between that puck ending up in the net and not doing so. It tied it 2.
Number 16, Brock Nixon. Assistant number 25, Ryan White. And to number 7, Keith Seabrook. Time of the goal, 7 minutes, 50 seconds.
Well, we mentioned Seabrook coming out of his own zone to start that play. That's a power play goal. So Calgary 1 for 4 with the man advantage. Their second power play goal of the series. 2 for 6 now in the series. And they've really come alive. And here they are again. Plante trying to throw it in front. And that's right into the blue shaded crease. Another chance, and a hard shot by Mercer's tipped off the target. Oh, it's all Calgary right now. They've had 11 shots in this period, 2 for Swift Current. And I get the feeling, maybe I'm slow to adapt here, that I think this series is going to probably go like this, where one team sort of takes charge for a while and gets a lot of chances, and then maybe the other team will get it. There's just too much offensive firepower out here and lots of speed.
And they capitalize on mistakes in a hurry.
Sawney trying to find McMillan. Levi Nelson intercepts there. He dumps it off the puck or off the glass and out. Nelson's been a little quiet so far tonight, but he has 10 playoff goals in 18 games, so he's not going to be quiet for too long. Meantime, an interference penalty is going to be assessed to Calgary, and maybe Swift Current can calm down the momentum a bit.
I like Alex Plante moving with that puck. He's the guy that jumps in there right there, gets a shot on net for a big man. Boy, he can skate. He's got great offensive ability. You know, Levi Nelson answers back for the Broncos. He'll come back up the ice. He's interfered with right there. In fact, Stone has to take him down, or he thought he was going to lose him, although Stone did get a little bit of defensive support, but Nelson draws that penalty.
Well, here's a goal for them right off the bat. As goalkeeper Mercer got crossed up with his defenseman, Tassoni says thank you very much. 4 seconds after they go to the power play, Swift Current leads 3-2, and that was a blunder in the Calgary zone.
Well, that's what you called that. Both of these teams have the ability to answer back and will answer back. Right off that face-off, looks like Spence has got it. Nobody's got it. You can't make that mistake when guys like Tassoni, when guys like Nelson, are around the net. You get a good look at it right there. He doesn't get it. He actually grabs the stick of the defenseman, Spence does, and a happy Swift Current Bronco Matt Tassoni, his third of the playoffs, his second here tonight, and it's a 3-2 Bronco lead.
Number 16, Matt Tassoni.
Here they come again. Smith puts the puck just wide of the net.
9 minutes, 17 seconds.
Nelson gets
Tassoni,
the
power play goal, his second of the night, third of the
assist,
playoffs.
but really the Calgary Hitmen will be very upset with the way that one went in, especially if it calms down their momentum, because they had a lot of it. Things can change in a hurry, and just did. Here comes Swift Current keeping the puck in. No, they didn't. I thought Claffey had held it in, but it's offside at the Calgary line.
You know, we talked about this last broadcast. Not sure we did tonight. 6 kids on that Swift Current team from Calgary. Talk about Eric Doyle, Mike Brown, Justin Dowling, Levi Nelson, Taylor Voss, and Ryan Moley. Now, sure, there's a couple not dressed, Mike Brown and Taylor Voss, but you got to believe that team was pretty excited about coming into this Saddle Dome. And what a difference in venues. You got a 19,000 seat building here as opposed to a 2,700 seat building in Swift Current. The beauty of the Western Hockey League.
Not to mention their head coach, Dean Chenoweth, who's not born here, but sure spent a lot of his growing up years here, with his father serving as the president of the Western Hockey League. Nixon back of the net. Here's Ryan White. He'll get it back out to Plante. Plante through traffic has his shot go wide. DeVell leaves it for White. Nixon's alone in the slot, couldn't get him the puck. There's going to be another penalty here. White just slashed the stick out of the Swift Current player's hands, and so when we come back, the Broncos will go back to the power play. Swift Current 3, Calgary 2. We're in the second period of game number 3. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Nelson, you guys will go back. Nelson here with Dean Chenoweth, head coach of the Swift Current Broncos. Dean, how important was that goal by Matt Tassoni to swing the momentum?
Well, it was huge. I thought that they were taking it to us from the start of the period, and they got better at the end of the first. So to get that goal to go ahead was real important.
Tell me about your goaltender, Travis Yonkman. Looks inspirational here in the second period.
Well, he has been, and he was in the Regina series. There were some saves he made that were game changers, and he's done it again here tonight.
Dean, thanks very much.
All right, thanks.
Guys?
You know, Dean Chenoweth was looking for his first playoff win in Swift Current in 4 years, and he got it in that Regina series, 4-2. He began a rebuilding project back about 04-05, and is really coming into fruition now.
Here comes Stieler in over the blue line. Shot, that's stopped. Now remember, as we went to break, Ryan White got a penalty, and Swift Current is on the power play, slashing the stick out of a opposing player's hands. So if Swift Current scores here, they'd have their 2-goal lead back.
Dean Chenoweth says the CHL import draft is a real challenge for a team like Swift Current because they're basically in a B market, and they got a guy like Stieler, and he's been really much more than just a serviceable junior. Dan, he had 23 goals for this team. That's him with the puck.
13 his first year. Stieler back at the goal for Smith. Back to the blue line. Here's Wilson. Here's Weiss. Back for Wilson. Goes to Doyle. There's Stieler again with it. Poked off his stick. Elsner gets it. Bordas now has it, and out it goes.
Should mention Stieler and Weiss both with 13 power play goals in the regular season.
Here comes Swift Current as they've made a line change, and they do some stick handling. They're right in front of the save, and a rebound. Score! Michael Wilson pokes in the rebound, and there's that 2-goal lead again. A power play goal, and penalties kill here. Calgary in the second period, back-to-back power play markers.
Matt Tassoni has been absolutely terrific tonight. That's him going along the wall right there. He works his way past, gets it to Dansrell. Is that Dansrell? What a game he's had. Patience, takes it to the front of the net, and that's the key for Michael Wilson, the good offensive defenseman that he is, to jump in for that rebound right there. But Tassoni, Dansrell have been dynamite tonight for the Swift Current team.
It's going to cause a goalkeeping change here, as 4 goals on 16 shots. Chases Dan Spence, and there's a look at Martin Jones. His first minutes of these playoffs are about to begin. I don't know how much that is because of the way Spence is playing or just to shake up the Calgary Hitmen. That third goal was certainly an ugly one as far as the Hitmen would be concerned, and Spence as well, as they got crossed up. Picking up the announcement here.
Wilson power play goal is first of the playoffs from Dancero and Doyle.
Doyle gets the second assist at 11:20. So the crowd is quiet once again, and Jones handling the puck for the first time, gets his glove over top of it. Martin Jones, 17 years old, from North Vancouver in his second year.
Yeah, 17-year-old, played 18 games last year. It's really surprising, you know. I did not expect a goaltending change in this series because Spence had been playing so exceptionally well, but so often as you see goaltending changes made and they just fire a team right up. Shots on goal, Dan, 23-16 right now, favoring the Hitmen.
By the way, that goal for Wilson, even though he is 20 years old, that's his first ever WHL playoff goal, coming at 11:20 of this second period. So with the series tied 1-1, Swift Current has their second 2-goal lead of game number 3. Dowling off the boards. Dudas in front. Here's a pass. They score again. It's 5-2. This time it's Jordy Woodrick at the side of the net, and the Broncos suddenly are making it look pretty easy.
Dowling moves into the offensive zone, and Dudas is banging a stick. Watch 7 right there, banging it, saying, give it to me. The most impressive part of that play is Dudas knows that when he gets this puck, he's got no intention of shooting it. He's going to find the guy right there. What a great pass, right through the zone area, right through the slot area. Woodrick says, thank you very much. He's a left-hand shot, playing off that right post. It's 5-2 Broncos.
Woodrick scoring his 5th of the playoffs. The first 4 were against Regina. Here's the announcement.
Assist to number 7, Jesse Dudas, and to number 21, Cody Eakin. Coming to goal, 12 minutes, 8 seconds. Woodrick is 5th of the playoffs from Dudas and Eakin.
So that's 3 goals in under 3 minutes for Swift Current, after Calgary thrown everything on the Swift Current goal to start this period. I mean, the shots at one point were 11-2 in this period for Calgary. Here's Sawney. Shot misses by a long margin, and Seabrook on the far side able to hold it in, flips it. Here's Sawney from back of the net, trying to throw it in front, and he's knocked down by Dancero. Fans respond to that. Dancero gets the puck and sends it down the ice. Icing is the call. Let's go downstairs to Cam.
Yeah, Dan Spence gets relegated to the bench here for the Calgary Hitmen. I know the coaching staff wasn't real happy with that third goal against them. And the Swift Current Bronco bench was saying, even before that third goal, they were saying even late in the first period, let's shoot, guys, get lots of shots, shoot the puck. It looks like he's fighting it a bit tonight. And they were able to weather that early Hitman storm here in the second and eventually get to Spence.
Thanks, Cam. 6:58 to go in this second period. Offensive zone faceoff for Calgary. The way the pucks are going in, Bill, you can't say Calgary's out of this game. There's still a lot of time to go. They get one before the end of the period. They can bring the crowd back in.
Well, without a doubt, 2 things. Jonkman's been a huge factor for Swift Current in goal, but he has to be. And then the ability of this Swift Current team to rebound back with the offense they've got. You know, it's the offense, the goals you score, that determine the confidence of a hockey club. And it's a very, very confident team.
From the faceoff, Fortis gets it down low. Here's Kozin. Gagliardi's in front. There's a pass, and Gagliardi has to go off this stick wide, and while shooting, he was being checked and hooked, and there'll be a penalty on Swift Current.
Well, you watch the front of the net. I think it's David Stieler doing a job of back checking. Kozin in that position right there, gets it to the front. 29 for Swift Current, moves his man Gagliardi out of the play. I guess if there is such a thing as a good penalty, that's probably a good penalty, and I'll tell you why. He took a scoring opportunity away from the Calgary Hitmen.
Pretty important power play right now for Calgary in this high-scoring game, and here they are off the boards, and a shot that hits the side of the net. Might have been blocked before it got there. Gagliardi back to the line. It comes to Elsner. Kozin now takes the pass back to Elsner. He pans on it. Gagliardi gobbles it up. Gonna try to come off the corner boards, down low and a give and go, gets it back again, and it went up a leg wide. Cozen off the boards. Cozen goes to the net, still Cozen, and then the pass ends up going behind Stone. Cozen fooled everyone, including his teammate Stone. Cozen gets the puck back again. Cozen's had the puck already a lot on this power play. Down low it goes. Gagliardi has Bordas in front. Elsner, one-time shot. That's blocked by Smith. That hurts, but he gets the puck and he sends it back into the Calgary zone and then gives chase for it. Calgary wins the battle for the puck, and it's Elsner out of his own zone. Quickly to Nixon, coming in hard. Nixon shoots, save, or blocked at least. It didn't reach the net. Puck is still loose, but it's intercepted and shot out by Swift Current.
That's a good Calgary power play. They got a lot of wheeling in it. They got a lot of offense, and they know you can feel it being down 5-2 then. They feel this is a very critical part of this hockey game. 35 seconds still left in the power play for the Hitmen.
Ryan White trying to gain the zone but could not. And it's going to be Postma going back for it.
And the penalty kill for the Broncos has gotten stronger as this power play has gone on.
Ryan White again with just 16 seconds to go on the power play. Nice pass. Nixon is stopped by Yonkman. That's a great save and a timely one for Yonkman as he got his blocker on it. Meantime, Swift Current trying to come back the other way, but a centering pass intercepted. Now the Hitmen send it down the ice for an icing call. What a fine save by Travis Yonkman.
Oh, he's been absolutely terrific. His positioning has been great. But how about White? He's looking again. We saw earlier he made that same feed for a deflection to Nixon on the power play goal, the second goal that Calgary scored. This time he gets it again to Nixon high in the slot area. This time Nixon, instead of the redirect, gets the shot. Yonkman with a wonderful save.
So the penalty now is over. Stieler back on the ice. Calgary is 1 for 5 with the man advantage. And the score is 5-2 for Swift Current. They led 2-0. It was 2-all, and then they spoke for 3 goals in a span of 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Spencer McAvoy, his pass up for Stieler. It's offside at the Calgary line.
I mean, he's been a winner, Yonkman has. He won the National Midget Championship in 05 with the Saskatchewan Contacts, and he says he's really been helped this year by goaltending consultant Kevin Swanson. Sometimes, you know, sometimes in games and situations in the season, you almost have to put the guru out of your mind, the goaltending coach. But a lot of times, you know, you're on your own, and he just feels that he's really helped him so much with his positioning.
Last year he played behind Kyle Moyer, who set a CHL record for playing in 233 games. But when Kyle left, he said Yonkman will be a great goalie because he's so athletic and has such great skill. So those are good words from a guy who played a lot of goal for this Swift Current team.
Kyle Moyer was one of the best in the Western Hockey League last year.
Dancero just having a monster game here, and in fact you could upgrade that to a great series. Dancero's been a big factor for Swift Current, and he just had another chance there as Calgary sends it down the ice. McMillan jumping on it. Here comes Tassoni. He has 2 goals tonight. Up for Jesse Dudas. Knocked off the puck. Dudas reaches up high to get it, and now it goes out of play at the bench, so we're going to face off inside the Calgary line.
Dancero leads all Swift Current Broncos in playoff experience. He played 179 games with his Calgary team, plus 43 playoff games. And what he's doing here tonight is exactly what your leading playoff experienced guy should be doing. He's come into it basically where he's played so much hockey in the past, and he's just given it absolutely as good a game as I think I've seen him ever play.
19 years old from Saskatchewan in his 4th year. And you get the feeling he's having a lot of fun in this series against his old team, and especially tonight in this building. Cozen trying to gain the line, and Cozen has it poked off his stick. Mercer plays it cross ice to Plante. Hitmen flip it in with 3:10 to go in the second period. They come up with a loose puck. Bordas trying to work it in front. Cannot. And it's Swift Current getting it out to the neutral zone where Woodrick had it. Eakin trying to follow it up. Now it's Cozen. He'll send it into Bronco territory. Bordas first to it. Tries to throw it in front for Cozen. Gagliardi's there as well. Cozen So confident with the puck. Behind the net to Gagliardi, in front for Bordas, and it just rolls off his stick. Broncos get it out to center. Seabrook has it, flips it back in again. Calgary leads on the shot clock in the game 28-19, so that's 5 goals on 19 shots. The first 4 went in on 16 shots against the starter, Spence. Yonkman handed it away. Here's a chance, and a save by Yonkman. And Swift Current fans are saying, you better stop that when you caused that scoring chance.
You got to pick your spots when you're going to handle a puck, and if you do go back there like Yonkman does right here, you have to make the right decision on where to go with it.
Wow.
That was not the right decision, but it sure as heck was the right decision to get back in that spot right there. He got back there in a hurry.
Well, you see his athleticism there, right?
Absolutely.
This does a great save. I mean, he caused it, but that's a great player. He stopped too. Nixon again. Nixon's got to be shaking his head. Here's a shot from the line by Postma that does not reach Yonkman. Broncos get it out to the center ice area. Nice play by Tassoni. Brought it in over the blue line, and then a shot by Weiss was fanned on, and the Hitmen will start back. Schultz gaining that blue line before being forced off it, and then back was drawing a penalty at the same time. So it looks like Swift Current will be shorthanded once again.
You know, Weiss does a good job of back checking here until he puts the stick in that spot right there. He's on him, he's right beside him, and as soon as you put the stick in the waist section, knock the man down, there's no question you're heading for the box. Again, now with 1:51 left and a 5-2 Swift Current lead, Dean Chanel knows how big this penalty kill is for his hockey club.
And Kelly Kissio knows how big it is for his team. It's a must score in many ways right now. You have to think for Calgary. Here they are on their 50th power play, and they're going to actually get a 2-man advantage because a delayed penalty is happening. Gagliardi was high stick, and I'm not sure which Bronco got his stick up, but I do know they'll have a 2-man advantage for the rest of the period. And for 1:45 in total, the referee's over to find out whether it's going to be a 2-minute penalty or not, and it's Bordas, not Gagliardi, who was high stick.
Key here is whether in fact he's cut or not. Woodrick shaking his head, doesn't like it. Let's have a look at where it happens. There it is, right in front of the net. Sometimes you go in there, you want to lift a player's stick, you get a little more aggressive, and you get it up under the face shield. It is only a 2-minute penalty to Woodrick for high sticking. All this with 1:35 left in the second period.
Well, they have to score, don't they?
Must. Must, M-U-S-T, all capitals.
5-on-3 till the end of the period, but Broncos get possession. Can they get it out? No, Smith could not get it out. Here's Stone taking the pass from Elsner. Hard pass to the far corner to get a little bit of room. So they come off the boards and they play it over to Elsner. Stone to Elsner. Ryan White's down low, so is Gagliardi. Couldn't handle the hard pass. Gagliardi's got it. Centers it. Shot wide. That was Stone who fired it just off the target. Ryan White. Nice pass. Elsner. Shot, save. That was a great save again off Nixon. And Yonkman has words for the referee. Yonkman saying something to the referee, maybe about the traffic in front. That's usually the only time they're going to have a conversation while the game is on. Meantime, Nixon gains the blue line. We're in the last minute of the period. Nixon spinning back to Alsner. Alsner to Stone. Back to Alsner. Here's Stone. Down low to White. Nixon's in front. They keep working it around. Carl Elsner, shot scores! The captain scores another playoff goal. A power play marker with 31 seconds left. It's 5-3.
You know, some good puck movement. It starts with White. Now watch Elsner hesitate. He waits, he waits, he waits, he waits. He finds a spot. And boy, you know Cozen's going to be in front of the net. 15 White. Also traffic there. It looks like that's Bordas in front. That's all Elsner needs. He says, thank you very much. His 5th goal of the playoffs. Let's keep in mind, Dan, he only got 7 on the season. And he makes his 5-3. That goal comes with 30 seconds left in the period.
Scored by number 27, Carl Alsner. Assistant number 28, Michael Stone. And the number 25, Ryan White. Time of the goal, 19 minutes, 28 seconds.
So the seconds are dying down here. Maybe a chance here at Cozen getting inside the blue line. 5 seconds, but Swift Current gets it. Calgary at the point, can't get the shot off. We'll have 25 seconds remaining on the fresh ice power play at the start of the next period. Obviously a big goal there for the Calgary Hitmen, but still a tall order. And what a great second period for Swift Current after they weathered the storm. They were able to at that point, after they weathered the early storm, I mean, for Calgary, they were I guess lucky on that third goal, Bill. I mean, there's no other way of putting it. That was a luck goal, and it couldn't have come at a better time for Swift Current.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you know, the team that plays with a lead is so strong in this case. Now, we've talked a lot over the years, over the entire year, of the Hitmen being so good when leading after 40 minutes. They haven't lost, but they got a big job here. I think it's important at this point, Dan, for Swift Current to really stay out of the penalty box. They've been very good. They learned their lesson against the Regina Pats. They were good in the first 2 games, but too many visits to the box right now.
I know this game isn't over. There's just too much offense out here. I mean, if Calgary can come out and get an early power play goal, I mean, they don't only need a power play goal. Their goal will be to come out in the third and get one by the 10-minute mark.
Absolutely, and you know, the Broncos, I don't think they're getting I'd like to see their fourth line contribute a little bit more tonight. They were so good the first 2 games in Swift Current.
All right, Cam, back to you.
Justin Dowling from the Swift Current Broncos. Justin, you get an intermission here after Calgary gets that goal, a little chance to regroup. Is the intermission coming at a good time right now?
Yeah, I think we need to settle down a little, kind of start running around, taking careless penalties, and we don't need to be doing that, especially when they're 200 feet from our net. And we got to keep playing our game instead of the box.
Well, you guys were under siege early in the second period. Travis Yonkman makes a handful of great saves. Then you come on with some big goals. This team has some offensive ability. It probably doesn't surprise you to see them score in bunches like that.
Yeah, they got 4 good lines, and we got to make sure that we're keeping some of those guys off the ice and keep our star players on the ice so we can get those goals and stay ahead.
How inspirational has it been, the goaltending of Yonkman?
He's been incredible. If he wasn't in the series, we wouldn't be anywhere in here. And if it wasn't for him last series, we wouldn't be here playing in the second round against the Hitmen. So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here.
Justin, thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Justin Dowling of the Swift Current Broncos. We'll go upstairs to Dan.
All right, thanks a lot, Cam. Coming up in the second intermission, we'll have a feature on Calgary's little big man. That, of course, is Brandon Cozen, the speedster, as well. Cam Moon will be back to join me to talk about what has happened through the first 40 minutes of play. Plus, we'll have all kinds of highlights from that last period where there's tons of goals between Swift Current and Calgary. That's coming up next, right here on Stroh's Herb, WHL Hockey on Shaw. Well, welcome back to the Pengros Saddledome. Calgary Hitmen fans a little bit stunned after their team's second period of play. They're now trailing 5-3 to the Swift Current Broncos in Game 3 of their best-of-7 Eastern Conference semifinal. Goal scorers tonight so far: Tassoni with 2, Wilson, Woodrick, and Weiss all scoring for Swift Current, and for the Calgary Hitmen, Postma, Nixon, and Ulsner. Now, even at just 18 years of age, Brandon Cozen has already had an interesting hockey odyssey. From California to Calgary to Minnesota's famed hockey high school powerhouse, Shattuck St. Mary's, to the Calgary Royals of the AJHL, and finally to the Calgary Hitmen. Now, despite his size, Cozen has really turned heads this year, playing on the top line with TJ Gagliardi and Kyle Bordas. And right now, here's a future on him from our John Henderson.
Cozen giving chase. He's got good speed.
They have been the Hitmen's best forward line so far in the playoffs. TJ Gagliardi, Kyle Bordas, and Brandon Cozen, with the speedy Cozen chipping in with 3 assists in Calgary's Game 2 win over Swift Current.
Luckily, we've been able to contribute quite a bit, and the biggest thing for us was moving our feet. And I mean, you know, you look at our line and kind of have the perfect mix of chemistry. I mean, you know, we got 2 guys that see the ice really well, and you got Bordy, who's a great finisher. I mean, you know, you watch us out there, and we're always changing lanes and moving to new areas, and you know, it's really a pleasure to play with those guys. And you know, as long as we keep it up, I think we will help the team quite a bit.
What's your role on that line?
My role is probably just, you know, mostly energy, and the thing with me is I gotta keep my feet moving. My best thing is probably my vision. I can see the ice pretty well, and my skating's pretty good too. And if I keep my feet moving and work hard, I think I can find open guys, and maybe, you know, once in a while put the puck in the net.
You're not the biggest guy out there. How much does skating help you?
skating is a big deal for me, and you see out there and you see guys trying to hit me all the time. The biggest thing for me is I am a little shifty and I can change directions pretty quick, but I mean, if I do that, I can't see why I can't play with him.
As we alluded to, Cozen is not the biggest guy out there. Okay, most nights at 5'8" and not weighing all that much. He's the smallest. But almost right from the beginning of his tenure with the Hitmen, he had an ally in associate head coach Dave Lowry.
Obviously, you like his the skill set on him. He's not an overly tall player, but he plays big. And biggest thing is he can skate and handle the puck, and he has a knack of being able to create offensively.
Now, with guys that aren't large players, how important is that mobility, that skating skill?
Obviously, you have to, with the way the game has changed too, and you have to be able to skate. We had some concerns about his strength and his how he would handle the physical part of it last year. We felt last year he was very close to playing on our hockey team, but we felt that he had to get stronger, and it was a tough decision, and it was a tough decision for him to accept too. But to his credit, he went down. He played and had a very good year. He came back a different player. He came back and he knew through the summer that he had to get stronger, and he worked at that, and he's being rewarded for it now.
Yeah, he just told me he's got his weight up, Dave, to 150.
Wow, that's up 3 pounds since the start of the year.
So yes, the change in the way hockey is officiated makes it possible for a smaller man to be successful. These days, speed and skill trump brawn. And Brandon Cozen has speed, he has skill, plus he's got a big heart, and that's something the tape measure and the weigh scale are unable to comprehend.
And Brandon Cozen has got 1 assist tonight to give him 12 points in 9 postseason games. I'm sure NHL scouts will have a good look at him as the draft approaches in June. All right, we got to take a quick break. Coming up next, Cam Moon joins me to talk more about the first 40 minutes of play. You're watching Strauss-Herb WHL Hockey on Shaw.
The Saturn View, Hyatt Saturn Saab in the Calgary Auto Mall. People first.
Petland. Pets make life better.
With over 200 health professions across Alberta, we're bound to cross paths. We're the Health Sciences Association of Alberta, a vital part of your healthcare team.
Every day in pediatrics, people trust us with their children. Having the right environment and equipment is essential in children doing well in hospital. We want to thank you for your gift to the KGH Foundation.
Live forever. Leave your legacy.
Hi, Larry here from Carpet Gallery. When it comes to choosing your flooring, let us at Carpet Gallery help you make the right choice. We have over 100 years of combined flooring experience to share with you. Carpet Gallery, where the best is the least we can do.
Who do you trust with your carpets? ServPro, Calgary's choice for carpet and upholstery cleaning since 1964. The one you know, the one you trust. ServPro, the one to know for all your cleaning needs.
Looking to buy or sell a home, or maybe searching for that perfect vacation hideaway? Whether it's buying, renting, or applying for a discount mortgage, CanadaHomeGuide.ca has it all. CanadaHomeGuide.ca, open house for everything real estate.
Welcome to Flight Centre. This is Sarah.
At Flight Centre, we go out of our way to find you the perfect holiday at a great price. And if you don't have a perfect holiday, we'll give you $100 towards your next one. Flight Centre, unbeatable.
The Swift Current Broncos are 20 minutes away from taking a 2-1 series lead over the Calgary Hitmen. They lead the Hitmen 5-3 through 40 minutes of play. Cam Moon is back. And Cam, you're a former goaltender, right? We'll start off with that. Let's talk about the goaltending. Dan Spence, 4 goals on 16 shots. Was it? I mean, is it a case of just not being his night, or was he maybe not getting as much help as you would like him to have?
Well, I think the third goal he definitely liked back. That one right off the power play, they couldn't find the handle, and eventually it lands up in the net. that Hitmen bench was awfully quiet after that goal. You could hear a pin drop over there. And then after the fourth goal, he gets yanked, and he's got to make that long skate, especially in the second period. Your bench is a little bit farther. Has to make that long skate, and Martin Jones comes in. Martin Jones, a quality goaltender, but he gets welcomed by a great opportunity that lands up in the net, too. So things, I would say part of it is things aren't going Calgary's way, and part of it is a goal that deflated the team. I mean, it's not always how many goals you give up, but when you give them up. And after Calgary had owned the first part of the second period, but were unable to score because of Travis Yonkman and because of the goalpost, all of a sudden that goal goes in, and it changes the momentum of the game.
Well, let's talk about Travis Yonkman. We had it counted as 12 scoring chances for Calgary in that period. He's already made 29 saves in the game, and a couple of huge ones there in the second.
Well, and the one that I liked the best
was the giveaway.
And then he makes the road hockey save. That was unbelievable.
So old school, just throw your body out there.
Oh, yeah, he's firing that thing, giving it up, and then coming back and making a great... He stacked the pads. That was old school net minding, which is nice to see. He's played really well. He's held his team in. This game could very well be 5-3 for the Calgary Hitmen right now if they got things going in net early in that second period. But Yonkman was able to shut the door, and he gave his team a chance. He was able to weather that storm. I thought it was great net minding by Yonkman.
You can see they're very confident in him because he's a guy that gets a lot of times forgotten in terms of the Eastern Conference goaltenders, but he's really had a solid year.
Yeah, he's had a really good year, and a lot has been said about how fast this Swift Current team skates and that type of speed that they have, but Travis Yonkman's a big part of their success too.
Okay, so well, for Swift Current in the third period of play, they got to stay out of the box because Calgary, if they get on that power play, you know they're going to hurt them.
Yeah, well, Calgary, when they put their top five out there, that's as good as anybody in the WHL. And you got a guy like Carl Alsner on the point, a guy that you have to think is going to play in the National Hockey League next year with the Washington Capitals. He's a first-round pick of the Capitals. He quarterbacks that power play so well, and there's so much skill out there. You're right. The Broncos need to stay out of the box. They've done a great job of that up till this point in this series, but maybe a few too many penalties so far.
And in terms of Swift Current, I mean, everybody talks about their speed, and it's the balanced attack. They get all three lines rolling. It's just, you just don't know where the scoring's come from. They get a goal from Michael Wilson tonight, so they're really spreading it around.
Yeah, they really are. Jordy Woodrick's had a pretty good game too. Keegan Danzero's been all over the ice. And Cody Eakin, for a first-year player, I know he's a first-round pick in the WHL Bantam draft, so it's not like he snuck up on anybody, but he has really been good. Right as the season has gone on, he keeps getting better and better and better, and they use him in power play and penalty kill situations as a first-year player. That doesn't happen all the time, especially with a deep team like Swift Current.
Okay, Calgary's got 20 minutes to get back in this one. Obviously, they got about 25 seconds left in that power play. Obviously, pretty crucial that they get on the board early to give themselves a chance here.
Yeah, they'll need to. They'll need to and get the crowd going and make this a difficult building to play in. A lot of times it is. So, and at times in this game it has been, but they will need a goal, I would think, in the first 5 or 6 minutes to really get it rolling.
All right, Cam, thanks once again for making your way up here. We'll take a look, actually, as you stay around here. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, see what is going on around the rest of the league. How about this? Lethbridge Hurricanes, they're up 2-1 in the third period of play. They got 2 power play goals from Zach Wojcik, Mitch Fadden, John Negrin has scored for Kootenay in that series. Of course, tied at 1. See if Lethbridge can hold that third period lead. And Tri-City and Seattle, they are in the second period. They also have 2 power play goals. Sean Vay and Huseman have got the goals for the Americans. Jim O'Brien has scored for Seattle. Of course, once again, series tied at 1. Vancouver, Spokane, they are off tonight. They will resume their series tomorrow night.
The WHL, the leading supplier of hockey scholarships in Western Canada. 70% of Canada West hockey players are WHL graduates using WHL scholarships. The WHL, your game, your future.
It's the Swift Current Broncos leading the Calgary Hitmen 5-3 after 2 periods of play. Time now to check back in with Dan and Bill up at the broadcast booth.
I believe, Dan, we have a track meet going on here in game number 3. I mean, when they made all the new rules for hockey out of the National Hockey League lockout a couple of years ago, this is really the kind of game they had in mind, is it not?
Oh, absolutely. Great acceleration. A big guy that can skate can play. A small guy that can skate can play this game. And it's, as you say, it's jailbreak offense.
Yeah, and lots of goals for our analysts to show you between periods here.
Well, it starts right with the power play. Calgary had to get back on this spot, but you see with Nixon in the high slot area, Duval's in the front. That creates a little bit of space for Nixon to take a perfect Ryan White fade. And then off that faceoff, this is the one that got goaltender Spence pulled. He doesn't find the handle. Matt Tassoni makes him pay for it. That gave Swift Current a 3-2 lead again. And then, you know, this is some good work by Wilson to read this play. After Dansero does all that work, watch Wilson move in. That ends up in the back of the net. I guess that's the one that got it. But now look at Dudas at the far left of your screen on this goal, Dan. Now he creates some time by moving to his left. That allows him to make the pass now to Woodrick. That's at the side of the net. This is just a heads-up play totally by Jesse Dudas in that spot to make that feed to Woodrick, and he knows it. He says, hey, man, great pass. How did you see me there? Watch, kids, how Alsner takes his pass. Watch how far back he takes the stick. I mean, that's only about 2 feet. The big wind-up, Dan, I'm telling you, the goaltender can get set. You move that stick back about 2 feet, you're just not quite ready for it.
Nixon, Tassoni, Wilson, Woodrick, and then later Carl Elsner. Not even enough room on that page for all the goals. It's a 5-3 hockey game. Stand by. The third period of Game 3 coming up from the Saddle Dome on Shaw right after this. Welcome back to the WHL playoffs on Shaw. Dan Russell alongside Bill Wilms with Cam Moon. Our producer is Dave Roberts. Our director is Breanne Jefferson, and the entire Shaw crew. Thanks you for joining us tonight as we start this third period. Calgary has 20 seconds remaining on a power play, but they have to go back into their own zone. That's Jones handling the puck. Martin Jones playing his first playoff minutes. He replaced Dan Spence at 11:20 of the second period after he allowed the first 4 goals on 16 shots. Calgary on their 7th power play of the night. They have 2 power play goals, but that 7th power play just expired. Nixon for back of the net, though. Wrap around, and Yonkman's there. Here's Ryan White. White off the boards. Throws it towards the net. That did not reach the goal. Weiss gets it and flips it out for Swift Current. Woodrick giving chase over on that far side. Elsner gets possession. In that second period, Calgary had 20 shots on goal, 6 of them by Brock Nixon, 4 by TJ Gagliardi. Dansero had 3 of the 9 shots for Swift Current in that middle period. Here's Gagliardi and over the line. Shot, that's knocked down by Wilson. From back of the net, the Hitmen fighting for possession. Kozun, good job to Gagliardi, back for Kozun. He's hooked a bit. There's a wraparound. Gagliardi rebound. They're banging at the puck. Another chance, and Yonkman holds his fort very nicely. A big save for Yonkman early in the third.
This is the highest scoring line in the Western Hockey League playoffs, and they cannot get that puck past Yonkman. Lots of traffic around there. Gagliardi, Kozun, Bordas. Yonkman fighting for a position. He's got a lot of help. Count them, 4 Swift Current Bronco players in that defensive zone in front of him, but Hitman unable to get one past him.
Swift Current is 2-1 in these playoffs when leading after 2. 32-2 when you combine their regular season totals. Behind the net for Swift Current, that is Justin Dowling, number 14. Couldn't get it in front, poked out to center ice. Dudas from inside his own line. Forced all the way back. It's cut off on this near side. Well, I thought it was going to be. Duval couldn't. Was down the ice. Jones will leave it for Seabrook. Both teams making changes. We're 2 minutes into the third.
Danny, we saw the Calgary Hitmen put on a clinic in Swift Current defending a lead in Game 2. Let's see what the Hitmen can do, or the Broncos.
A chance for Calgary and a goal! Brock Nixon, and it's a 1-goal game. Well, Nixon takes advantage of the goalie thinking the pass was going to come all the way through to Ryan White, and it's an easy one for Nixon.
There's a good stretch pass, but Nixon a little bit lucky here. That pass right there, he comes right back to him. He's got a sliding defenseman. Is that Doyle? I'm not sure, but that puck comes right back to him. And at that point, Yonkman is out of position. He's got basically a wide open net to put it into, and we're back into a 1-goal game.
Well, let's pick up the announcement.
Number 16, Brock Nixon. Assistant number 25, Ryan White. And to number 7, Keith Seabrook. Time of the goal, 2 minutes, 14 seconds. Nixon is second of the night.
So you enjoying the close to the best playoff hockey, Bill? 5-4?
Yeah, it's just so much fun to watch the offense, isn't it? You know, this we talked a lot about the Bronco
There they are now. Skeeler in front. McAvoy jumping in the rush. Nelson goes to the corner. He had started that rush. And Levi Nelson in a 5-4 game's been kind of quiet tonight. And Calgary, just as they're getting back into the game, take an interference penalty. And that's what hurt them in the second when they clawed back into the game. They started taking penalties.
Yeah, you see Stone definitely getting in the way a little bit sooner than he should right there. That's him pushing his man out of the way. That's the interference penalty. But, you know, I'm just going to finish my thought now. We talk about the Broncos 720 goal scorers and higher. Well, how about the Hitmen, 470-plus point men?
Wow.
So it's not surprising that these two teams play the kind of hockey that they are, and it is exciting.
Another power play in this game. It's the fourth for Swift Current. They're 1 for 3 with the man advantage, which makes them 3 for 11 in the series. Doyle, their power play point man, wearing number 2, shoots the puck in. Wilson, who scored in this game, has the puck. He's number 4, dumps it down low. Here's Tassoni in front of the net, and Jones makes one save. The first one went off the Calgary player. And the Hitman goalie, Jones, had to be sharp there as the Broncos almost restore another 2-goal lead. Here's Doyle. Doyle throws it in front, intercepted, and the Hitmen get it. Gagliardi up to Bordas, and he'll send it in deep. 4 fresh Hitmen come back onto the ice, and they had to be careful in their change. He almost got caught with too many there. Here's Wilson. In over the line. Tassoni with a pair of goals tonight. It's forced back out. Doyle has it. Doyle will start from behind his own net. Long lead pass. Dancero to Levi Nelson. Nelson with 2 goals in game 1, including the game winner in the 3rd period. Hit hard on the backboards. Stays on his feet. Now he has the puck. Nelson from the deep slot moving in. There'll be another penalty. Nelson plays it down low. Penalty to Calgary coming up here. Goalie at the bench for the extra attacker as DeVal stops it in front of the net. It's a 2-man advantage for 36 seconds. It'll be a boarding penalty as referee Zalaski puts McMillan in the box.
Well, this is what makes Levi Nelson so good, Dan. He's got a big guy that takes him out of the play behind the net, but he doesn't take him, pin him to the wall, so Nelson gets a chance to skate with that puck into the high slot area. But Plonk looked like he had him pinned up against the back wall and unable to finish him off, and Nelson kept that puck alive.
So a 2-man advantage for 36 seconds. Elsner got the puck, could not get it out. Dudas holding it in at the line and gets it back again. Big moment here for Swift Current. Can they restore the lead? Wilson over to Dudas. Dudas back to Wilson. Shot. That's blocked. 19 seconds to go in the 2-man. Wilson moves in, shoots, and Jones gets his glove on it for his toughest save since coming in to replace Dan Spence.
Yeah, good job by Wilson coming off that angle, coming off the blue line, knowing that he's got the top of the slot to work with. Here he comes because it is a 2-man advantage, and nice job. Nice save by Jones there. A little deep in his crease, but sometimes you got to back up a little bit, see that pass going side to side.
Swift Current wins the faceoff. Wilson over to Dudas. Dudas with 6 seconds on the 2-man. Plays it down low. Back it comes to Wilson. Shot off the target. Oh, right through the goal mouth area. Dancero has a golden opportunity to restore the 2-goal lead. Or check that, it was Weiss. Weiss at the side of the net. Had the whole net, but could not score the big power play goal. Wow, it's still a 1-goal game, but there's still a minute to go on the Swift Current power play. It's a 1-man advantage, and they're on the puck hard. To Sony, to Nelson. Back of the net it goes. Battle for the puck in the corner. That's Keegan Dancero coming off the boards. Here's Nelson's shot from the far side. Jones makes that save, and the puck goes off a stick and out of play in the Calgary zone.
Wilson with that shot from the point, it deflects and it hits Weiss up high in the, almost in the face area. He's at the side of the net, and then he just shoots that puck wide. I mean, he knows he's got a lot of, watch where this puck hits him. Watch it right there, just about at chest level. And man, oh man, he knows that once that puck settled at his feet, he had a lot of net to shoot it into.
Still 45 seconds to go on the Swift Current power play. Here's Doyle at the blue line. Doyle to McAvoy. Back to Doyle. A one-timer is blocked by Ryan White. Goes right back to Doyle. Doyle plays it to Dancero. Dancero will throw it through the slot area. McAvoy on the other end of that pass. Here's Levi Nelson. His pass is partially deflected as it goes out to Doyle. Now it's bouncing around and down the ice it goes.
Doyle would love to have that pass back when there's 22 seconds left. That's not one you want to give possession up on.
Only 8 seconds remaining on the Swift Current power play. Will this give Calgary a big lift if they can kill it off? They've got back into the game for a second time tonight. McMillan out of the box. The fans come alive. Swift Current 1 for 5 with the power play. 5-4 the score. Just 6 minutes gone in the third period. Have we seen our final goal of the night? Stone takes a shot, and that's stopped by Yonkman. He holds on, and we'll go downstairs to Cam.
Calgary Hitmen able to weather that storm that was the power play of the Swift Current Broncos. Jordy Woodruck had that great opportunity to hit him up high. Looked like it hurt a little bit when he came to the bench. It was a pretty hard shot coming across, and it caught him just inside the shoulder. But every time the Calgary Hitmen had a save by Martin Jones, every player here on the bench was banging his stick against the boards. They were pretty happy for his success.
Face off to the right of Yonkman, and it's Seabrook holding it. Seabrook, back it goes to Kozin. The centering pass intercepted, and back the other way. Here comes Weiss going in. His shot is turned aside. Into the corner. Swift Current on the attack. They have Deletchke out there. I mentioned in the first period that Swift Current might try to get their fourth line out more often. It has not been that kind of game tonight, but Deletchke's out there right now. Here's a chance on the backhand, and it's knocked down in front of the net. That was Dale Weiss with that opportunity. They really haven't got a fourth line into the play tonight. They spotted the odd time as Gagliardi comes in, and then it rolls off his stick. Claffey gets possession. Up it goes for Deletchke, and he pokes it out. Here comes Tassoni. Or check that's Smith with it, putting it back in the net. And McMillan gets it up for Sawney. Sawney hitting the line, but they're offside at the Swift Current blue line.
Good job on the back check right now. And again, that's part of that defending the lead. There's 12-15 left. You do not want to go on a defensive position too much at this point, Dan, but you do want to make sure that if the Hitmen, if you're the Broncos and the Hitmen have possession of the puck, you're looking around. I talked about this as one of the keys to the series. Know who's on the ice at all times and know where the open men are, because that's so important in a 5-4 and any kind of a one-goal game between these two teams.
Sawney over on the far side for Calgary. The puck is dumped down. Rowinski, now Sawney. Stieler in there. Doyle's in there. Who's going to come out of this scrum with the puck? Swift Current has it, and they have room to come out. And Doyle takes advantage. Shoots it in from the center line. Just past the 8-minute mark of the third period. Swift Current had a 2-0 lead at the 6-minute mark. It was 2-1 after one. It was 2-all early in the second. Then 3 goals in less than 3 minutes made it 5-2. Calgary's had a couple back, and here we are with a 1-goal game in the third period of game 3 as Dancero goes wide, throws it in front, and it's redirected off the target by Tassoni. Calgary comes back with speed. What else is new? Smith, though, pokes it off the stick of White. Following it up is Schultz. Here's Nixon. Shot over top the net, and he broke the glass. The glass is shattered behind. Well, there it is right there. Wow. Got a few minutes, Bill?
Yeah, they could get that done in a hurry, can't they? Nixon.
You wait.
Well, maybe there it is. What do you think the people sitting behind that thing feel like?
They're feeling like maybe I'm going to move up a row or two. We'll watch it shatter here. Right on that shot. Bink.
Well, Nixon with the snapshot. Usually, I mean, what does it tell you about the strength of the glass? But, you know, you talk about Brock Nixon as a 20-year-old, Dan. He said the one selfish thing that he has ever done in his 4 years of hockey was asked to be traded from the Kamloops Blazers to a contending team. And, you know, I think the Blazers were a very, very classy organization to grant Brock Nixon that opportunity to come here. A 20-year-old from Russell, Manitoba. In fact, I think guys like Nixon, guys that are 19 and 20 that are playing, they have to have a long run in the playoffs because it's their last real kick at the cat. And the longer they go, the more the scouts get a chance to see them, Dan, and the more guys like Nixon get a chance to sign a free agent contract.
Cam's downstairs with Levi Nelson. Cam?
Thanks, Stan. Yes, Levi Nelson with me here as we have a bit of an extended break as they fix that glass. Levi, it's been a back and forth affair here, going 5-4 now. I mean, it doesn't look like any lead is insurmountable. Are you surprised at all by that?
No, I think it's been all series long. It's been like that. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're up 1 goal, 2 goals. It doesn't seem to matter here. I mean, the teams seem to battle back. I mean, they're doing a great job, but we're in a game now. We just got to play our hockey and try and get that win.
You guys had a great forecheck in the first 10 minutes of this one. Was that part of the game plan coming into this one, really get on their defense?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a rebound game for us here, coming off a loss back in Swifty there, and we just came out, we knew we had to lay it all on the line here, just getting in on that forecheck and just forcing them and, taking away the passes and just forechecking them hard.
You're a Calgary guy. How do you like coming to the Pengrove Saddledome? No doubt you came to a lot of games here as a kid. What's it like coming back here playing in front of some friends and family?
It's real exciting. A lot of family and friends, growing up playing hockey with a lot of young players out there, they're all here watching, support me and my family, and it's just great, come and play in here in the hometown crowd, it's real exciting.
Tell me about playing in Swift Current. I know the crowds have been outstanding here in the playoffs. It's a real devoted fan base, and with the rink improvements this year and it's bigger and now more fans can come to the games, what's it like with Bronco fever here in the playoffs?
It's real exciting. I mean, like you said, there were the new renovations, and this is the first time Swifties made it to the second round. So, the fans behind us 100% of the way, and they're being great. It's a real exciting barn to play in, and it makes it fun.
Levi, thanks.
Yes, thank you very much.
Levi Nelson, the Swift Current Broncos. Dan?
Yeah, he's a Boston Bruins draft pick, by the way, chosen in the 6th round. Can't go wrong being a Bruins pick, Bill.
And he had a real good start to his career in Swift Current. He was a Rookie of the Year for the Broncos, and he's carried that right off into his 19th year. Dan, he's 6 foot, 192 pounds. Boston's looking at his dad. His dad is 6'3". They think that kid there will be a pretty good prospect if he can even grow an inch or two. But hasn't Travis Yonkman been special tonight? You have to be to come into this building and steal a game if they can in fact do that.
Generally speaking, when you allow 4 goals, you're not special, but this is not the case tonight. He's been good.
He's been in good position. I talked about it earlier. Pretty good second effort goalie. Just can't beat him on the first one. He's going to battle for position in the crease. And he's that classic butterfly, isn't he? He's down on his knees and up in a hurry. Moves from side to side exceptionally well. And we talked about this earlier as well. This guy went 24 for 24 his last visit into this building, that 2-0 shutout, and 48 saves in 50 shots going back to a game he played in here last year. So nothing new for Travis Yonkman to play well in the Saddledome. And Dan, he's a Bantam 5th round pick in 03. I talk a little bit if I can too about I talked with Eldon Moberg of the Swift Current Broncos earlier tonight. The 4 first-round Bantam picks in the lineup on the ice here that were Bantam picks for Swift Current. You talk about Jordy Woodrick, you talk about Eakin, you talk about Postma and Bordas that are now playing for Calgary. But that is a terrific job of drafting that organization over there has done.
Here you look at the Calgary bench. Had a look a moment ago at Dean Chenault, the head coach and GM of the Swift Current Broncos. Done a very nice job with this team. His 4th year, his playoff record 24-29. But I like how emotional Dean Chenault is as coach. One game this year, he showed not only he's a good coach, but he's got a good arm. He can toss a water bottle. In fact, he tossed 2 of them in the same game, and Ron Robinson and Rick Dirksen didn't quite like that at the league office. They did suspend him for 2 games. By the way, special hello to the commissioner of the league tonight. I understand in the bed with the flu this week, probably watching at home our telecast on Shaw. But I love Dean Chenault as a coach, Bill. If I'm a player, I look at Dean and I say, this guy's been there. He was a Western League player. He was drafted high. He knows what it feels like to be in your draft year. He knows what it's like to travel the buses in this league. And, his dad and his brother's a big part. It'd be fun playing for a guy with the last name Chenault, don't you think?
Yeah, no kidding. Cam, are you surprised at the success he's had behind the bench this year with his Swift Current team?
No, not at all. Dean Chenault's such a a good coach, but also a good teacher. And I know that the players like playing for him. And even as a general manager, he's made very astute moves, bringing in Breton Stamler and bringing in Jesse Dudas here with this team. And we've seen the emergence of Travis Yonkman this season, a guy that did his time with Kyle Moyer here, and now they're reaping the benefits and making a first-round pick like Cody Eakin that's come in as a first-year player and has been an impact guy. So I'm not surprised at all. He's a very smart hockey guy and also a really good person.
It's an emotional time, of course, in his family. He's the son of Ed Chanouth, who is going through a difficult time right now in the Calgary area. But what a moment for Dean and Jeff to be playing for the trophy that has his dad's name on it. The Ed Chanouth Trophy, renamed last year during the Memorial Cup. And you know, who knows? I mean, if Swift Current ends up winning this series and Kootenay ends up, I mean, not that Ed and his family isn't proud enough of those boys, but to see them this year with his name on that trophy, potentially going head-to-head for a chance to reach the final, that would be something.
Yeah, I mean, it might be too much for him, I don't know.
Yeah. But
it would be a lot of fun. You know, Kelly Kissio is this year's Eastern Conference nominee for Executive of the Year, and he'll be facing against Bob Torrey of the Tri-City Americans. Let me tell you why Kissio right there is nominated for Executive of the Year. 13 of this year's Hitmen were acquired through the Bantam draft. They've done such a good job as well. And, you know, a lot of people still talk about the trade to Swift Current of Keegan Danzero, which, you know, you got to give up something to get something. But he essentially got Kyle Bordas and Paul Postma for his Calgary Hitmen team. And, you know, Kelly Kissio's certainly done a great job. And as Executive of the Year, he can turn a lot of the coaching strategy and the coaching part of his hockey club over to guys like Lowry and Otto, who've done such a great. I mean, when you've got three guys, including Kissio and Lowry and Joel Otto, Dan, all NHL experience, I mean, you have got a crew behind that Calgary Hitmen bench that I think is second to none in the entire Western League.
If you're just joining us, we're in a delay right now because Brock Nixon's shot shattered the glass. Here's a look at it again. Watch the glass in the end seats as he takes it. It's always fun to see the glass shattered. Bang, right there.
You know, it's just a wrist shot.
Bill, I know you and I have spoke a lot about this year. Through the whole year, we were just so excited about the playoffs, and they're living up to their advertised billing because there's so many teams that are out there that can win it all. And I don't know how Cam feels about this, but if you had to pick one team, Cam, that has a favorite to win it all right now, can you?
I don't think you can. This year's been a little different in that we've seen some depth from the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference to number 8, and maybe some depth in the Western Conference 1 through 6 anyway. But normally we see 2 or 3 teams that really stand above the rest in the WHL, and you can pretty much pin your hopes to those teams, and that's how it always seems to work out. This year, it's a free-for-all, which is made for a better playoff.
Cam, I want to ask you a question about you're the play-by-play guy, the Red Deer Rebels, real quick. Well, no, we got a little bit of time here. The coaching change in Red Deer. A, are you surprised that Brian Sutter will not be back? And second of all, how about Jesse Wallen, a former Red Deer Rebel, moving in behind the bench?
Yeah, I think it's a great move for Jesse. He's a quality guy as a captain of the Red Deer Rebels for a couple of years and moved on to a professional career for 6 years, playing with the Detroit Red Wings. He's also the captain of Team Canada, 2 tours at the World Juniors, picked up a gold medal in '97. So I'm happy for him. I think he'll do a great job. A little bit surprised that Brian won't be back next year. Things didn't go the way he would have hoped, or the whole Rebels organization, with just 18 wins this year. But he was pretty busy with things, still running a farm just south of Sylvan Lake in central Alberta. And yeah, I guess being pulled 2 different directions. And because of that, he won't be back next year, and it'll be Jesse Wallen, who right now is with the Canadian national under-18 team in Russia, getting ready for those World Championships.
And apprenticing, I might say, under head coach Pat Quinn. That can be pretty important couple weeks in his life as well. Yeah. I should mention, too, guys, the World under-18 Canadian team, which goes over to play in Russia, April 13th to 23. I'd like to congratulate the Western Hockey League players on that team. Colton Tubert from the Regina Pats, Tyler Myers from the Kelowna Rockets, Travis Hamonic from the Moose Jaw Warriors, and Colby Roback from the Brandon Vikings. I'll go over the forwards in a minute, Cam, but How about that set of defense? 4 of the top 7 all-Western hockey leaders.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And that shows the depth at that age group in this league, and those are just of teams that are no longer playing. So it's good to see that group of players, the 1990-born players in the WHL, are extremely strong. And for the most part, you see that every year, which is really good. And we'll see that probably 2 years from now. There'll be a lot of those players vying for positions on the World Junior Club.
And just to finish that off, the 3 forwards on that group are Jordan Eberle from the Regina Pats, Brandon McMillan from the Kelowna Rockets, and Braden Shen from the Brandon Wheat Kings. And we say congratulations to all those Western Hockey League players that will be playing for Canada. And I can't imagine, Dan, Pat Quinn, a coach of that hockey club.
In Kazan, Russia from April 13th to the 23rd. Well, your quick delay, Bill, has added up to 12 minutes here. So I'm not going to let you guess any more of the delays, but I do want to say another hello to those watching at the iPlex in Swift Current. I understand fans have assembled. They've got the big screen going on in the auditorium there in Swift Current. I don't know if they're watching tonight in Cadillac or not. I don't know what time the lights go out in Cadillac, whether or not they are allowed to watch after 9 at night. But if they're watching in Cadillac tonight,
hello to you.
Yeah, and we might be back there. Who knows?
And I tell you, the people in Cadillac, and especially those that are back in Swift Current, got to be happy with the performance of their team tonight, but maybe specifically Keegan Dansereau. What a job he has done. He is a Calgary Bantam draft, 9th overall. This is the kind of night he's had so far. He's been physical. He's certainly done a job blocking shots. He's gotten pucks to people in key scoring positions. Dan, Keegan Dansereau has been great. I mean, he takes a heck of a wallop right there to make that pass, to get it in deep. And then what a hit. I mean, he's been all over the ice. I haven't seen Dansereau that much, folks, but I'd be surprised if he's played a much better game than he has here so far tonight.
It's a 1-goal game with 11:10 to go, so there's still so much on the line here. Game 4 will be played tomorrow night in the Saddle Dome, starting at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. There it is right there. And looking ahead, it's a 2-3-1-1 format. We're back here on Friday. All these games on Shaw. Game 6 is scheduled for Swift Current on Saturday night. And Game 7, if it's required, would be played back here Monday, April 14th. As you look at the Swift Current bench, there's no players now on the benches. They've been allowed to come on out and have a little skate. Your legs do obviously tighten up, Bill. They're out of the flow. And does this break favor any team by any chance in your mind?
Well, I got to go back and think who had the momentum the last shift. I mean, no momentum changes like crazy in this hockey game. We know Nixon has scored to make it a 5-4 Swift Current lead. 38-22 shots on goal favoring the Hitmen. Still 11:10 left in the period. There's certainly a lot of time left. I think discipline is going to be a factor. Both of these teams have probably made a couple trips too many to the penalty box, and that might be a factor in the rest of this hockey game. But the beauty, as you said earlier, I'd be surprised if this game ends 5-4. Not saying it won't, but there's a lot of offense on both of these hockey clubs.
Other games around the Western Hockey League on this Tuesday night. Game number 3 being played in Kootenay and Lethbridge, who spotted the home team ice a 1-0 lead, have a 5-2 lead in the third period, on their way seemingly to a 2-1 series lead there. Tri-Cities leading in Seattle 2-1. That's in the second period. And the other game which will be played in the series, the game number 3, will be played tomorrow night in Vancouver, between Vancouver and Spokane. So we're back underway, and Calgary gets a chance right on the face-off. That was nearly a 15-minute delay, and Calgary didn't waste time getting their first scoring chance after the delay. Here they are again, in over the blue line. Shot, score! Wow! It's all tied 5-5. Was that Schultz who hammered that off the boards? It was.
Schultz had a great chance right off the face-off. This is a transition play. You lose that puck in that area, you're going to pay for it, because that team in white can really turn it up the ice in a hurry. The big slap shot off the right side. Here it comes. A lot of time to tee it up. You know what? I think maybe Yonkman thought that shot might have been going a little bit higher.
Yes.
It went right along the ice and it beat him.
A little bit of a delay and then a low shot, and it's 5-5. And here they come again. That pass broken up. Let's see the assist on that one. Just one assist at Seabrook. So Calgary was down 2-0. They tied it 2-2. They were down 5-2. They've tied it 5-5, and we still have a half a period to go. And we knew late in the second, Bill, that Calgary wasn't out of it.
No, you had that feeling. You have to have too much respect for a team that's the #1 seed in this Eastern Conference, and it's really a question of a guy like Zach Smith. See that C on that shoulder, folks? He has to rally his troops. Right now, as you said, they had a 5-2 lead. They've got to play. Here's the key. Swift Current Broncos got to play like they just tied the game 5-5.
5-5 in the third playoffs, in the third period of this playoff game. Duval comes out of his own zone up to Sawney. Sawney, lead pass for McMillan. He's tripped. There's going to be a penalty on Swift Current. So it's all Calgary right now. They're scoring and they're going to the power play.
Nice breakout right out of their own zone. You get that puck to a moving Sawney at the left side. He's going to look for somebody to give it to. There's a guy that's skating until he's knocked to his feet. McMillan with not a point going into tonight's game in the playoffs so far, looking for his first. Gets dumped by Delechki. And after tying it at 5, the Hitmen now on the power play.
I have it as their 8th opportunity of the night. They're 2 for 7 with the man advantage. One of them came with a 2-man power play as they announced the penalty to Delechki. Here comes Calgary in over the line. White shot. That goes wide of the net. Here's Carl Elsner. Elsner over to Stone. Stone plays it to Nixon. Schultz is standing in front of the net. White is in the corner collecting that pass. White off the boards, throwing it in front. They're banging at the puck. White comes back to the blue line. 40 shots on goal already for Calgary in this game. And Stone tries to tee up the other one for number 41. That one went off the target. Ryan White's got the puck. Back to Stone, back to White. Here he comes. Down low to Nixon, but his head was up. Couldn't collect the pass cleanly. Nixon. Stone shot just whistles wide of the net. Woodrick will hammer it down the ice. A minute remaining in the power play. 9:10 to go in the third period of game 3. And this would be a heartbreaker if Swift Current doesn't hold on to 2-0 and 5-2 leads. Will it be a pivotal game in the series? And is this power play going to be pivotal? Here's the Hitman off the boards and a chance turned aside by Yonkman. Gagliardi collects the rebound. Off the boards to the point, it goes to Seabrook. Shot, knocked down. Weiss gets it, and he'll skate out of his own zone with it. Weiss, who scored the game's first goal way back in the first minute of the first period, or 9 goals ago, gets the puck to the neutral zone again. Now here's Smith, battling for it. Gets possession. Smith by himself. Can't get the shot away, or can he? He's still going! And Smith is stopped by Jones. What an effort by Smith. Short-handed, but Jones makes the save.
I just finished telling you that when you're wearing the C on your shoulder, you got to lead by example. Can it be any better than this when you're killing a penalty? Watch it. Enjoy this, folks. This is a captain of the Broncos. There he goes. He's not to be denied. Lots of traffic around him. He's not going to be denied. He almost gets that puck past the goaltender on a brilliant, brilliant individual effort. Doesn't get any better than that. You can't work any harder than Zach Smith did on that play right there.
Off the boards. Late in the power play, Swift Current's going to kill this one, and they're going to get a chance here near the end of their penalty kill. Tassoni knocked down in front. Nelson throws a check. Broncos back at full strength. 8 minutes to go in the third period. Dudas back to collect the puck. Dudas knocks the puck over to Doyle. Now here's Tassoni. He flips it into Calgary territory. Elsner gloves it right to Nelson. Nelson putting on the brakes. Plays it down to Keegan Densero. Trying to throw it in front. Intercepted. McMillan will try to send it in deep. Dudas cuts that off, and out he comes. Eakin sent it in, took a hit by White. Now Nixon trying to collect the lead pass. Nixon and Dudas collide. Now the puck comes back to Schultz. He fans on it, and Dansero starts back the other way. Dansero with speed, trying to get around Seabrook. There's a pass in the front for Eakin, and it rolls off his stick, but then a centering pass comes back to the line. Chance there for Wilson. He's roaming around back of the net. Dansero jumps on the puck. He's been doing that all night. Pass over to Eakin. Eakin back over for Dansero, just missed it. And Ryan White overskates it. Seabrook trying to chop at it, comes back to Stamler. Stamler knocks it off the boards. Dansero reaches for it, then winds up, fakes it, sends it over here to Wilson. Just another great shift for Dansero. Eakin in the corner. Lost the puck to White. White knocks it off the boards and it goes out to the neutral zone. Stamler will chase it. Both teams are making changes. Breton Stamler, the veteran of all veterans out here, 325 games of experience. That's him with the puck. And now Smith takes it from him, and he's stripped of it. Gagliardi starts back. Gagliardi shot, saved with the pad by Yonkman. Kozin to Elsner over top his stick, and Jones is way out of his net to collect the puck. Jones will play it over there to Alex Plant. Lead pass up to Gagliardi. Gagliardi brings it in over that line. Kozin in that corner with Gagliardi, but it's Claffey collecting it for Swift Current. And it's out to center and then shot right back in again by Plant.
Dan, 14-4 shots on goal this period favoring the Hitmen. 42-23 on the night. The Broncos got to answer back.
14 this period, 20 last period. So that's 34 shots in the last two periods. There's a long lead pass, but McMillan diving, couldn't collect it cleanly. Tipped out to center. Postma to Seabrook. He lost it. McAvoy. McAvoy's a defenseman in there deep. Spencer McAvoy getting the puck over to Stieler. Now Seabrook lifts it off the glass. DeVell couldn't reach it. And we get a glove hand stopping the play. 5:04 to go in the third period. You're watching the Western Hockey League playoffs on Shaw.
Brock Nixon with two big goals tonight. A power play goal early, tied it at 2. And boy, does he do a great job of taking that pass there and redirecting it with power towards the net. And then a little bit of luck here. Stammer tries to block that puck as Nixon comes off that right wing. Nixon gets it right back again, puts it in the back of the net. At that point, that made it 5 for Calgary. What? There's the block with a stick. Nixon right back with it, stays with the play. We are now tied at 5 with 5:04 left, third period.
So many scoring chances. 22 goals in 3 games so far between these teams. Nixon with the 2 goals tonight that you mentioned. Also the goalpost in the second period. Plus he had 2 or 3 great chances that Yonkman robbed him. So he's had a huge night. That's him with the puck there. Nixon's long pass tips out of play, heads up behind the Swift Current bench. And I think they all ducked away from that one, but that came up in a hurry.
Nixon, till this year, had played 4 years of hockey in the Western Hockey League and only played 10 playoff games, all with Kamloops. And the Blazers had never gotten out of the first round as long as he had been playing there. So certainly Nixon in strange territory as far as his playoff experience is concerned in round 2 against the Swift Current Broncos.
Such a great scorer in this league. That's him chasing it down in the corner. Ryan White trying to dig it free as well. That's White coming off the backboards. White back to the blue line. There's a long shot. That's not deflected, but Hitman trying to get that deflection at the side of the net. That was Schultz. White from back of the goal. Nixon is hit by Stamler. Fans thought that was a borderline hit. Play on, say the refs. Dansero now to Wilson. It's bouncing in the deep slot area. Gagliardi with possession with 4 minutes to go in the third period. Already a ton of questions. I mean, the team that loses this game is going to be heartbroken one way or the other. Calgary's been coming back all night. Will it be for naught or will it turn out to be a victory? Postma from the line, a shot blocked, and Bordas on the rebound couldn't get a stick on it. And Swift Current, if they blow 2-0 and 5-2 leads, that would be heartbreaking. So one team is going to be a loser. They knew that going in, but it's going to be a heartbreak loss for one of them. 3.5 to go. Eakin. Dowling. Side of the net. Trying to get it in front is Woodrick. Woodrick has it checked off the stick, and Postma starts back. There are 3 Broncos back, and that's a good play, and they might catch Calgary on the change. Eakin winding up, shot wide of the net. All the Calgary Hitmen were on the far side trying to complete a change after the Hitmen did not get the puck deep in the neutral zone. Here comes Smith, rolling off his stick, but he gives it a chase and comes up with it. Back of the net, that's Delechki putting it back there. Here comes McMillan back the other way with some speed. McMillan shot, Yonkman saves that one. That's the 43rd time the Hitmen have got a shot on goal tonight.
Sometimes all you want to do is get the puck on the net when it's 5-5. Obviously, it's not any different than overtime right now. Postma takes this shot right there, gets it on the net. Traffic in front. Molly, pretty good position on his man, but you know, at the last second, Yonkman sees it, and that rebound comes out about 20 feet. Unfortunate for the Broncos, the rebound comes out further than there's any Calgary Hitmen looking for a rebound. And sometimes that's good.
Only one of the previous 17 playoff games between these two clubs has got 2 overtime. Will we get there tonight with 2.5 to go in the third? There's a shot, save, rebound. Delechki trying to throw it in front. That was blocked. Ryan White collects it. Hitman able to get it out. Wilson for Swift Current, number 4. Had it, lost it, but Stamler will have some room. Calgary's making a change, so Stamler's got an easy pass out of his own zone, but it goes off Smith, and Bordas just puts it right back in again. 2 minutes remaining, third period. Gagliardi. Now it's Tassoni. Tassoni has 2 goals tonight. There's Wilson. Long pass broken up there in the neutral zone. And here comes Calgary, and here comes Kozin, and there's his shot. Stopped by Yonkman. Oh, he brings energy every shift, this Brandon Kozin. Meantime, Dansereau can't get free. Now he'll try again. Dansereau knocked off stride. Postma gets it, plays it around the boards on the far side. Will it come out? No, good job. Here's Nelson to keep it in. Puts it back at the net. Postma over on the far side. It's forced out to center ice. Molly back to get it.
Not only is it quick out there, Dan, there are times and places it's rugged.
Dansereau's shot changes direction. Went wide of the Calgary goal. Here's a chance from back of the net, but a centering pass is fanned on, and Calgary gets it out to center ice. 1 minute remaining in the third period as Calgary is charged with an icing.
Matt Tassoni's a 18-year-old, but he's got that late birthday from St. Albert, and he's ranked 25th by Hockey News as far as the Western Hockey League players are concerned. It's again important for a guy like Matt Tassoni to have a big night, or certainly a big playoff, a long playoff run. He's been a big factor here tonight as well. Timeout. Not sure who called it, Dan. 44-24 shots on goal. We're told that Kelly Kissio and his Hitmen have called the timeout.
Yeah, big defensive zone faceoff. Well, you see that when the icing, because you can't change your defensive, or you can't change anybody on the ice, so you'll use that timeout quite frequently now just to get that extra rest, and it's pretty much a necessity in a last minute of a 5-5 tie.
Sometimes you see your captain, one of your leaders of your hockey club, you saw White talking to Kelly Kissio, maybe telling him something about the face-off and where he's going to go with it, or maybe something saying, listen, put me out there, I can win this face-off off Eakin. You got a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old in that face-off, sir.
And away we go. Face-off, battle for it. Who's going to get possession? Calgary finally does. White plays it back to the net to Carl Elsner. 3 Broncos watching Elsner from the offensive zone. Elsner will start out on this side. Pass up the middle to Nixon. McMillan trying to get possession. He and Claffey are going to battle for it. Somebody knocked it down with a high stick. It was Calgary's because Swift Current touched it, and the play continues. Half minute to go in the third. Elsner. Pass right on on the tape. Ryan White, his pass broken up. Give it away. Nixon can't get a shot away. Is this going to be a chance? White to Nixon. Save by Yonkman. With 12 seconds to go in the third, Yonkman makes yet another save. Here comes Swift Current. Smith, his shot redirects right onto Jones. 3 seconds to go. Chances for both teams in the last 15 seconds of the third. And for only the second time in WHL history, these two teams will need sudden death in the playoffs to determine the outcome of a playoff game.
You know, you talk about turnovers, so important. The last goal scored on a turnover. This is one that happens just inside the Swift Current blue line, right there. That puck has to come out. White gets it over to the side of the net, and really a pretty good job by the Swift Current Broncos. At that point right there, you see the giveaway cleanly. They've got to really regroup now to get back in their own zone. It could have been that close. That pass right there, from this thing going to not going in overtime, we stay tied at 5.
Well, maybe this game deserves overtime. I don't know how Bill feels about it, because
it does.
It's a tough game to lose. I mean, this is going to be sudden death. And you know what? A game 3 is always a swing game in a 1-1 series, obviously. But I got to think that whoever loses this is going to be more heartbroken than usual, just by the nature of the way the game is unfolding.
Yeah, Dan, I don't disagree with that at all. But they're going to regroup so fast and make your head spin. I think both teams have the ability to do that. That's the key. And if you're talking a series between the Swift Current Broncos and the Calgary Hitmen, you know that there's got to be 2 games at least, if not 3, in my mind, that could easily go to overtime. This is the first one here, but whoever wins it, obviously heartbreak, you're right, for the losing team. Now, they'll get right back at it again tomorrow.
All right,
it's still a long way from over.
It is. Well, maybe not. Yeah. Who knows? But we will have an intermission, and we're going downstairs to camp.
Thanks a lot, Dan. Dave Lowry, associate coach of the Calgary Hitmen, with us. And Dave, what a third period. Unbelievable. Come back, tie this thing up, send it to OT. Tell me your thoughts on your team's effort in the third.
Well, obviously we have to be pleased with the effort in the third. We dug ourselves a very big hole against a very good hockey team, and to be able to now to be able to force overtime, now we have to find a way to finish it off.
You have been generating a lot of chances, though. Yonkman's played very well in net, even though he's given up 5 goals.
Their goaltending has been very good, and we're going to have to continue to throw pucks at the net. We're going to have to continue to get traffic and not pass up an opportunity, put the puck at the net.
Martin Jones comes into this game after the 4th Bronco goal. First time he's played in the playoffs in the Western League. Your thoughts on the way he's played so far?
Well, he's handled it very well, and we have a lot of confidence in Martin, and we know that he's going to be a very good goalie, and he was very good for us all year. So he's been waiting for an opportunity, and he's a smart kid, and he's going to try and make the best of it.
Dave, go rally the troops for OT. Thanks for this.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Dave Lowry from the Calgary Hitmen. Send it to Dan Elliott.
All right, thanks a lot, Cam. Coming up in the overtime intermission, well, we'll check to see just exactly what has happened in overtime so far in the postseason. This is the 9th time so far in the 2008 playoffs, that a game has gone to overtime. We'll look at the previous 8 goals, plus Cam Moon will be back. We'll break down what exactly happened in the third period of play, plus we'll have highlights and check in on the out-of-town scoreboard, see what's going on there. That's all coming up next right here on Strauss-Herb, WHL Hockey on Shaw. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinal between Swift Current and Calgary is headed to overtime, 5-5 through 60 minutes of play. 2 goals in the third period, both coming from the Calgary Hitmen to get back in this one. Brock Nixon, his second of the game, 6th of the postseason, and Ian Schultz got the tying goal, his second of the postseason. Should mention Ryan White and Keith Seabrook, each with 3 helpers for the Hitmen. Now, this is the 3rd time Swift Current is going to overtime in this postseason, twice, of course, versus Regina. They had 1 win and 1 loss. It was J.D. Watt scored for Regina in 1 victory, and Dale Weiss getting 1 for the Broncos in their overtime victory. There are also 6 other games so far up to this point that have gone to overtime. Let's take a look at all 8, in fact, right now.
He'll slap it out for Sylvester. Sylvester's in over the blue line. Sylvester goes to net. The shot, they score! Shockingly! Getting the rebound. The Kootenay Ice win it.
Slot rolling puck. Richard turns, looking to fire shot, scores! Hat-trick, David Richard, and the T-Birds win it.
To Tubert at center, rink-wide feed to Watt on the left. He'll cut in, wants to get to the net, scores! He scores! J.D. Watt scores!
They keep it in. Plum rolling puck, pass in front, nice move, they score!
Cunningham ends the game. Vancouver wins it at 19-13 of the third overtime in what was the fourth longest game in the history of the Western Hockey League.
McAvoy on a touchy to hit. Dale Weiss around Bartley. Weiss on the right wing trying to go to the goal. In front. Cowan got a pass out to the line. McHugh with a shot. Score! Win it in overtime, 4-3.
The rebound over into the corner. Potter there throws it out. Ball outside to Mitch Wall, who shoots and scores! Mitch Wall scores!
They're now moved to center. Right side Lucas, he's away. Here's Lucas, he'll skate in. Try to take a wrist shot. He's pushed off the puck over Hickey. Never, ever give up on the play. Lucas glued off the hero tonight. Here's Hodson down the right side. Hodson, walk turtle, shoot, scores! Oh, thank you, baby. We needed that huge.
Gotta love some of those calls. All right, we got to take a quick break, but we got more coming up here in the overtime intermission. You're watching Strauss Herb WHL Hockey on Shaw. Who doesn't love overtime? That's right. It's 5-5 after regulation between Swift Current and Calgary in Game 3 of their best-of-7 Eastern Conference semifinal. Cam Moon back upstairs along the concourse. And Cam, we talked about it in the second intermission. Calgary needed a quick goal to get back in this one. Exactly what they did.
Yeah, they got right back in it. I don't know what the coaches were saying to them after 40, but it worked.
Maybe you have a little paint peeling in there?
Maybe. I don't know. I thought they played really well in the early part of the second period and maybe caught a bit of a bad break in that they didn't score on Travis Yonkman, but then they kept at it, and in the third period they found a way to get a couple of goals in, and that pulled them right back into this game. What a seesaw battle this has been. Like, I've laughed, I've cried, I've run the gamut of emotions so far in this game. It's really been a good one.
There's no crying in hockey.
Okay,
well, that's baseball, sorry.
I teared up a little, maybe.
Well, I got to ask you, 17 minutes is what we tracked that delay because of the broken glass there. Come right back, Travis Yonkman. Bit of a weak one from Ian Schultz. Obviously, I would have to think that affects him just a little bit. Get out of his groove.
Well, it doesn't help.
Yeah.
It doesn't help shutting things down and basically having another intermission, except you got to stay out on the ice. So it doesn't really work. And yeah, guys lose their groove a little bit, and the Hitmen were able to take advantage. The goal by Ian Schultz, I thought he just slightly hesitated before he shot it as he was coming down the wing, and it seemed to throw Yonkman off. From my spot between the benches, I was right in line with the shot by Schultz, and I was able to see that he caught Yonkman just in a bit of an odd situation. He was halfway in between standing up and going down, and as a result, Schultz was able to get it underneath him.
Now, you talked to Dave Lowry about Martin Jones in net. He hasn't seen a ton of action. Is that maybe what Dean Schnelth is saying in between the periods here? Let's get some shots on this guy because we really haven't tested him.
No, and they haven't. The Swift Current Broncos haven't really got a lot of shots, and they haven't got a lot of great scoring opportunities. They've just made good when they get them. But Martin Jones is a quality goaltender. I know he hasn't played any playoff time until tonight, but he's got a couple of seasons under his belt, and he played a little bit more this year than he did last year. And a guy a year ago that played for Team Pacific in the under-17s, he's one of the top goaltenders in his age bracket. So I'm not surprised that he's been able to come in and play well.
All right, let's take a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboards. Two other games going on tonight, and guess what? Lethbridge held on to their third period lead. They won 5-2. They outshot Kootenai 51-13, and then we're 4 for 16 on the power play. You see all the goal scores there. Dwight King leading the way with the goal and assist to lead that series 2-1. How about this one? Tri-City and Seattle tied at 2 in the third period of play. Jim O'Ryan getting his second of the game for the T-Birds to tie this one up. Of course, winner will go up 2-1 in this series. All right, quickly, we're running out of time here. Cam, pick a goal scorer from each team.
Okay, I'm going to go with Levi Nelson for the Swift Current Broncos, Kyle Bordas for the Calgary Hitmen.
All right, there you go. There you have it. Dan and Bill will send it back up to you.
Thank you, guys. Interesting. There were like two intermissions there. At the start of the third period, they just came off an intermission, Calgary, and they scored an early goal. And then we got the unforced or non-scheduled intermission when they hit the glass, and they scored quickly after that as well.
Well, if you're trailing by 2, you want to get a goal early in the period. They did exactly that. And, Yonkman, I think, is a little suspect on both of these, and we're going to show you why. You've already heard the guys downstairs talk about the shot by off the wing by Schultz. But watch this here. This is he's guessing a little bit. This This is Nixon going down right wing. Watch him. See, he goes across the front of the net, and then that stick off Stamler hits the stick, comes right back to him. Now in this play here is a turnover right at the blue line. All three forwards for the Broncos are caught in deep, and then Schultz lets his shot go off that right wing, and that's the one Yonkman I'm sure would like to have back. But boy, you had three forwards frozen about 10 feet inside the blue line, and that allowed Seabrook, who by the way made two great passes on both goals, that allowed Calgary to tie the game.
Calgary's come back from a 2-goal deficit and a 3-goal deficit in the same game. We know we've seen 10 goals. We'll see an 11th. Will it come early or will it come late? Sudden death overtime coming your way right after the break. You're watching the Western Hockey League playoffs from the Saddle Dome on Shaw. Welcome back to the Saddle Dome. Dan Russell alongside Bill Wilms as we get ready for sudden death overtime. Calgary has not had an overtime so far in these playoffs. Swift Current's been in 2 already. They won a double overtime game. In fact, they won that in Game 4 against the Regina Pats when Dale Weiss scored. That was a big goal in double OT. So they've been in OT twice. Calgary has yet to be in sudden death. And away we go with Calgary and white, Swift Current in the dark. Even strength as we start the overtime session. And here comes Dansereau. Dansereau going in, his shot, that's blocked. Remember, Jones came in to replace Spence. He's never played a minute of playoffs, and here he is in a sudden death overtime game in his first action. How's that for some pressure in the Calgary goal? Stone out here at center, chasing it down. Michael Stone will play across ice. Carl Elsner's lead pass tipped in by Brock Nixon, and Calgary will make a change. Remember, it's a long change in the overtime for both teams as Wilson will start back from behind his own net. And here comes Michael Wilson. As Smith poked off his stick, or at least intercepted. And here comes Gagliardi going in hard. Gagliardi shot taken up high by Yonkman. And he makes a save, and he kind of shakes his head a little bit after making the save. Meantime, Smith comes back. Smith centering pass. Shots. Great save by Martin Jones with the right pad. No, I guess he's not nervous. Pressure's off. That's a big save. Both goalies making saves in the first minute and change of sudden death overtime. Seabrook up to Kozin. We have all this offense. We have all these goals tonight. You can't imagine it'll be a long overtime, and yet you never know. Michael Stone up for Ian DeVal. He knows a thing or two about ending in overtime. Stone shoots it in from center, and there's a rebound. Molly jumps on it before Sonny can get it. McMillan hits Molly. DeVal gets the puck to McMillan, coming off the board. Shot over top the net. Did that hit the mask of the goalie? I think it hit him in the helmet, and Yonkman shakes his head again as we get a face-off in Swift Current territory.
Well, early in the overtime, both goaltenders very, very good at making saves. The first one is Yonkman, and then on the way back, it's a terrific save by Jones. Doesn't get any better than this. I think Weiss ends up picking up the puck, and what a toe save by the goaltender Jones.
And then Yonkman, a moment or two later, is just getting his helmet back on now. He deflected that latest shot, shot number 48, off his head into the screen behind him.
That shot for Calgary came just as Molly lost his stick and took a second to pick it up.
Nixon on the face-off. Elsner holding the puck in. Puts it behind the net. Schultz can't reach it. Comes around the near boards. Battle for the puck there. Schultz on the boards along with Nixon. There's Ryan White in the corner. He's hit by Stamler, but White still has the puck, throws it in front. It's too high, but Elsner gloves it down, takes a shot, loses his stick, directs traffic before trying to kick it along the boards. White has it. Elsner gets his stick again, so he's back in action to see if he'll get a shot with that stick. No, Nixon falls, and here comes a 3-on-2. Dansereau in over the blue line. Dansereau moving in, passes in front, and Tassoni couldn't handle it cleanly. What a great chance. Meantime, up the ice, Nixon tips it into Swift Current territory. Oh yeah, they'll trade chances. They'll keep the foot on the gas pedal, and here's Stieler moving in, and his centering pass goes off Seabrook. Seabrook comes up with the loose puck, and out come the Calgary Hitmen. Gagliardi to Bordas.
Borders back to Gagliardi, and he puts it wide of the net. May it graze the goalpost. Here they go the other way, enjoying the overtime. Here we go, we shot! Oh, he just missed the far corner. Comes back out to the neutral zone, and here's Calgary going the other way. Centering pass for Kozin. If you didn't know any better, you'd think this was a regular season 4-on-4, no risk. We already got the points in our back pocket overtime. But no. Long lead pass. Elsner couldn't break it up cleanly, but Calgary does get possession, and out they come. Rowinski shoots it in. McMillan will give chase. Yonkman has the puck. Sends it around the far side. Sawney. It takes a shot that's blocked. There's another shot by Rowinski, and Yonkman stops it, and he holds on.
Sometimes these teams just trade rushes. On the Swift Current rush, what a job Ryan White does of back checking. He comes into the picture right there, just lifts the stick at Tassoni, going the other way. Gagliardi into that spot right there to Borders. Borders trying to go forehand, backhand, or was that Gagliardi with a forehand back? It doesn't matter. They interchanged so beautifully, it looked like it got part of the crossbar.
Swift Current wins the defensive zone faceoff. And Eric Doyle has it. Former Everett Silver tip brings the puck out. Pass almost picked up, but Cantrell follows it up. Couldn't get a shot away. As Schultz does a good job back checking there. Stone now. Carl Elsner bounces it off a teammate to center. It's shot right back in again. Past the 4-minute mark of overtime. Stone from deep behind his own goal. Long lead pass up for Schultz. Schultz puts that shot wide of the net. Nixon dumps it behind the goal. And here comes Wilson. Wilson weaving, then sends it down the ice. No icing. Back to get the puck is Seabrook. That's broken up. Claffey sends it back in again. Postma to Seabrook. Off the boards and out to the neutral zone. Molly and Gagliardi in a race. Molly's got a step on Gagliardi. That's why he gets the puck cleanly. Nice breakout for Swift Current. Couldn't make that pass in the neutral zone. Borders and Gagliardi start back the other way. Gagliardi giving chase this time. He wins the battle. Gagliardi comes off the boards with it. Will he try a wraparound? No, he throws it into the slot area, and the Broncos easily intercept. Brought back by Dowling. Dowling pass into the slot. Shot wide of the net. That was a good opportunity for Woodrick. He didn't take long to get rid of the puck once it was on his stick. Nice pass in the neutral zone. Here come the Broncos. Dalechki shot. Stopped by Jones, and he holds on.
Woodrick probably the most improved player, one of the most in the Western Hockey League this year. Had such a great prospects game in Edmonton. This is his chance right there. He tries to end it with a puck right along the ice. Glove side low, just missed the net. Earlier, what a great play Molly made in breaking that puck out of his own zone on a heavy forecheck.
Offensive zone faceoff for Swift Current, won by the defensive team. They got it out to center before they lose the puck. Dudas also loses the puck. Here's a chance for Calgary down low. McMillan throws it at the net, and Yonkman intercepts it before it can get to Sawney.
Dudas maybe not quite game shape as he'd like to be, and he loses that puck. How quickly the Hitmen move it. They get it to McMillan wide, trying to get Sawney in front of the net. Dan, the Colson Borders Gagliardi line for the Calgary Hitmen have not scored a goal tonight. Now, Calgary does have the last change on home ice. Might that be a difference when Kissio tries to get that line up in a matchup he wants?
They do win a faceoff. Calgary comes back to Elsner. Shot knocked down. Nixon to Schultz. Schultz behind the net to Brock Nixon. Nixon has White in the crease. Nixon throws it into the crease area. They're banging at the puck, and Yonkman's got it. There was the best chance, really, of the overtime. I thought it was going to slide through with all that traffic.
Schultz is such a big power forward that when he gets that puck in that spot right there, look at him, he keeps it alive. Then Nixon takes over, changes direction, tries to slide it through all that traffic. Whoa. I think that hit Stamler's skate in front of the net. It really doesn't matter. The goaltender finds it, makes the save. Wow.
51 shots on goal for Calgary, 27 for Swift Current. Stone from the line, shot is blocked, and there's a chance the other way on those blocked shots, but Tassoni couldn't get himself free. You take a chance when you take that shot from the blue line, and there's a blue-shirted forward right in front of you. They could go back the other way. Stone takes a shot wide of the nets. White on the far side, wins that battle, gets it to Schultz. Taken down by Stamler. Nixon goes in to collect the puck. Nixon. And all over the puck tonight. Gagliardi dumps it to this corner. Wilson has it. Fighting for some space, and out he comes. Michael Wilson will get to the red line. Get to the blue line. He keeps going. Wilson goes around the back of the net, throws it in front of the net, and just missing it was McAvoy. That was a good rush up the ice by Wilson. Bordas can't get it. Derek Claffey does. Hey, these kids are really flying even in the overtime. Lots and lots of energy.
Well, Michael Wilson took that puck deep into the Calgary zone on that chance, Dan. You watched him going up the other side of the ice. He was the first man back.
Wow. Steeler intercepting and firing it back into Calgary territory. Around the horn it goes on that far side. Broncos had it for a moment. Instead, it's Sawney lugging it in over that Swift Current line. No further. They're grinding a bit right now. Why not? Give him a chance to grind for a minute. They don't do too much of that in this series.
It will tire him out, though. That is one thing it will do.
Well, I forgot about that.
But you're right. I mean, the puck's hardly ever along the boards for any length of time.
Here's a chance for Calgary in the backhand. It was Rowinski. Couldn't get the shot away, or he got it away. He certainly couldn't get it on net. And Dudas has it. Nearing the 8-minute mark of sudden death overtime. There's a turnover potentially in the neutral zone. Nope, Dowling's going to follow it up, and here they come. Dowling trying to get it to Jordy Woodrick in that far corner, but the Hitmen get there first, and it goes back to the Swift Current territory. The goalie Yonkman out of his net. There's a giveaway. Schultz at the line. Couldn't get the shot away. Broncos try the other side. Elsner has trouble keeping it in fact could not. And Wilson will start back the other way. He's stripped of the puck. Here comes Nixon with White. 2-on-1 down low. Nixon to White. He couldn't get a shot away. What a defensive play there by Telechki. Wow. Looked like the game was going to be over there. And it was the Euro John Telechki who made that great defensive play. Meantime, the Hitmen still banging at the puck. Goes all the way down the ice. Was that a great defensive play? Wow. Here they come again. Gagliardi throwing it towards the front of the net. Bordas couldn't reach it. Cozen's got it. Back behind the net to Bordas. Bordas to Gagliardi. Molly trying to check him. Bordas. Or check that. Cozen back to the line. Long shot. Bordas is in front. Turnaround shot. Couldn't get it on net. Tassoni's got it. He puts it out to center ice. Oh, it's a good overtime here in Calgary tonight. 5-5 is the score. Hope you're enjoying the 1988 playoffs here on Shaw. Wide open hockey, lots of goals, lots of action. And here's another chance. Gagliardi is stopped by Yonkman. Whoa, he couldn't come up with the puck cleanly, Gagliardi, but he still got a shot on the net. And he was all alone. Meantime, Postman doesn't know whether to go up for the puck or stay back. Another pass cut off by Nelson was on its way to McMillan. Finally gets there. Here come the Hitmen again. McMillan shoots. Oh, and that goes over top the net. A high rising shot there.
Dan, how many times have we said this? When it's this fast from our vantage point, which is so high.
Oh, yes.
It's amazing.
Dan Saroux in over the line. Throws it towards Jones. He can't come up with it. What's going on there?
No, you're right.
Somebody's...
Oh, my.
I know it's sudden death, but maybe make the clock go a little bit.
Has death occurred already?
No, that's been since the last play stoppage. They back it up, so we'll see. Here comes McMillan in over the blue line. McMillan! Still McMillan, and the net goes off its support, and the goalie's either hurt or trying to signify to the referee that I might have been hurt. Not sure how much Yonkman was hurt on that collision.
That's a good wheels of Minnesota draft. Carson McMillan goes hard down that side, forced to the outside, but he tries to get that puck to the front of the net. Here he goes, forces a defenseman right there. Was that Doyle? They have to take a whack at him, push him out of the play. That's just good defense, really. There's a collision in front. Goaltenders have to watch the pucks coming at them. They got to watch opposing sticks coming at them. Sometimes they got to watch their own players running into them. and also the opposition running into them.
The timekeepers are enjoying the game so much they forgot to turn on the clock there. But
don't blame them.
They've reset it to 8:19 left.
You know, we've done a couple overtimes. Well, in fact, take a look at the Western Hockey League schedule this year. The overtimes that we have done, Dan, I had never seen one with this pace for this long, 12 minutes into the overtime. It just hasn't let up for 1 second.
Yeah, amazingly, we're still going here. Here's a chance for Elsner. I mean, we said that when we worked the triple overtime game in round 1. Amazingly, we're still going, but in some ways, this is more amazing. 10 goals in regulation, tons of chances already in the OT, and yet we continue. The series is tied at a game each. Swift Current, if you're just joining us, had leads of 2-0 and 5-2. Here comes Nixon. Nixon, shot, blocked. And on the block shot, here come the Broncos in transition. But Dowling has it poked off his stick. Hit the linesman down below us. And then that threw the play offside.
Ryan White's been effective. I think White, Nixon, Schultz line has been the best line for the Hitmen all night. But, you know, this is the way you cause turnovers, folks. White, 25, is going to make that hit right there. And that allows his teammate right there to pick up that puck. That's Nixon. Just a real good job defensively by the Broncos, which you expect in a play like that to happen. But turnover is a big factor. Again, you don't want to be turning that puck over the blue line.
Goes in into the corner. Gagliardi will give chase. Smith bumps him off the puck, and out he comes. Pass over on the far side, shot in. Weiss throwing it in front. Goes back to Claffey at the blue line. That's intercepted, and here comes Postma. 3 Hitmen. Postma. The board is back to Postma. Shoots it wide of the net. Seabrook couldn't hold it in. Seabrook gets another chance. He's tripped. Play on. No call. Fans don't like it. Icing called on Swift Current.
You know, Postman does a nice job of recognizing where that puck is going to go on the turnover. He's just inside his own blue line. Give and go. Gets it wide, goes back to receive that puck, and then tries to get that shot, and a good job, real nice job, Michael Wilson blocking that. Now there's a stick that gets into the legs, certainly, of Seabrook. No call on the play. Face-off inside that Swift Current zone.
And every face-off becomes pretty important. Here's Elsner at the line. Shot just went wide of the net. Elsner does have a goal in this game, scoring on a 2-man advantage late in the second. That was a big goal. Swift Current at that time had a 5-2 lead. Elsner has 5 goals now in these playoffs. Swift Current sends the puck in. Elsner first to it, being checked off the puck. Here's a chance in the slot, and it's blocked by Stone. The shot taken by Dowling. Another shot that bounces wide of the net. Dowling again at the side of the goal. Pressure now for Swift Current. Wilson, Eakin centers it, and Dowling couldn't get it on his stick on the other side. Eakin, he's hit. Calgary come up with a loose puck. Off the boards, not out. Wilson holds it in nicely. But now Elsner has possession. Elsner's been out a long time. Look at that spin move. Elsner still going. Nice pass. Up for Rwinski. He dumps it in. Calgary makes a change. Can they be caught on the change? Here comes Nelson. He's bumped off the puck. Wilson trying to follow up, cannot. White gets the puck to Nixon. Nixon, shot, save, right! White could not pull the trigger. The man who controls the horn in Calgary, he already blew it. He thought the puck was going in for sure. And I have to admit, I thought it was going in too. We're going to keep going. It's still 5-5. And how does Ryan White not end the proceedings?
Well, I'll tell you how. Danzero gets the shaft of his stick in the way. Nixon, right there, watch it. Slow it up right there. Once it hit, the net is open. Wow. It bounces off the stick of Danzero and deflects harmlessly past the net. Unbelievable.
It really is. That's as close as you can get. Wow. I mean, that's the guy you want shooting it too. And Danzero maybe knew that. Here they come again. Here comes Gagliardi. Going hard, throws it in front, and it goes out the other side. And Gagliardi's there to meet the puck. Only for a moment, though, and Swift Current's got it. Here they come. Smith, drop pass. Not handled cleanly. Will Smith get it back again? No. Seabrook, who's played real well here for Calgary tonight, except for that one blunder back in the first period. He's logged a lot of ice. It goes off now. Molly back to collect the puck. Here comes Molly with lots of room to move it as Calgary was making a change, but it was cut off. Here's Sawney. Here's Rowinski. Rowinski couldn't get a shot away, and Yachman was way out to face it if there was going to be a shot. Meantime, Dowling goes back. He lost it. And there goes Calgary back the other way. Here's Sawney. Sawney! What's going on? Whistle. What happened?
Offside, I think.
I don't know. Or was it a glove hand? I'm not sure what happened.
Boy, did Claffey ever do a good job on defense of negating. I think it was Sawney on the rush. Boy, I'm telling you, you see the offside right here.
Where is it? Oh, on the near, on the near
right
side.
Of the screen,
yeah, the right-hand side.
The far left of the screen, right-hand side. These kids just don't know. They just, nobody's taking their foot off the gas. They just go 100 miles an hour.
I'm not sure I want this game to end. This is so much fun to watch. White to the line. Elsner. Shot goes wide of the goal. Schultz. If he touches it, there'll be a whistle, and there is, and the faceoff will come out.
You know, one thing about some of these guys that you look at Michael Stone in a minute here, he's playing with Alsner, and the thing about Michael Stone playing with Alsner, you can't get a better playing lesson than that when you're a guy in your draft year. I don't know about hockey, but I know golf playing lessons, Dan, go about $300 for a playing lesson. I'm sure everything is worth it for Stone to play with Carl Alsner, and he's just become a very, very solid defenseman during that time. Good teacher.
Wilson to Stamler, up to Dansereau. Here comes Swift Current in over the line. Dansereau poked off the stick for a moment. Dansereau continues with the puck. He's had it so much tonight. To Sony and Stone. Here's Levi Nelson back of the net. Nelson to Sony. To Sony. Throws it into the slot area, and Stone guides it out of harm's way.
Dan, you know what I think is going to happen? I think you're going to find one player, either a Hitman or a Bronco, open in front of the slot, in the slot area in front of the net. One defensive mistake, and I think it'll be over.
Meantime, we've played nearly 17 minutes of the first overtime. No icing here. Seabrook back to get it. Up the boards it goes. Smith had it, lost it. Gagliardi stripped of it by Smith. Smith gets it. Pass. Another check for Weiss. Tried to feed Smith, and it was just cut off. Smith keeps the puck in, puts it in front of the net, and then it's knocked off the boards out to center. Well, Calgary's obviously had the better chances. They've had way more of them. But you know, Swift Current, they can score on any rush up the ice. There's just so much offensive talent, and they're banking on that right now. Shots are 53-28. But the score remains tied. Molly. Long pass to Dowling. Dowling to Eakin. He's offside. And that's why the whistle blows.
You know, a little bit of a turnover, a little bit of a giveaway, and Swift Current with the last good scoring chance comes off the wall. I think Weiss is just trying to make a pass here. That puck is blocked. Here comes the pass. And again, it's blocked just in front of the net. Faceoff does come outside the zone.
Carl Elsner. Pass up the middle. McMillan taken off his stick. Carson McMillan had lost, and so the Hitmen go back, and Elsner will try again. He almost overskated it. Plays it to the corner. Stone off the boards. Tip to the line. Did it come out? No, now it's out. Dowling plays it all the way back deep into his own zone. Eakin has it. Eakin to Dudas. His pass goes down the ice. Icing called on Swift Current. And remember, they can't.
Well, we're loving it up here, Cam Moon. How about you down there? It looks like it's 100 miles an hour at this level. What's it like at ice level for you?
It's even faster than that. I'll tell you, this game is an unbelievable pace. The Calgary Hitmen have really shortened the bench on the back end, though. Alsner and Stone are out there right now, but it's been Postman, Seabrook as well, but they've been going with just those four guys here in the OT.
Nixon down to White. White and Stamler battling for it back at the goal. Nixon, Stamler, White, Nelson. and it's Nelson who comes up with it. He'll try to scoot out with it. Nowhere to go with it. Shot back in. Wilson flips it out to center. Elsner knocks it down there. Elsner lost the puck to Dansereau. Now to Sony, trying to find it in the skates, throws it in front. Poked out to the line. Here's Wilson moving in. And it's poked off his stick momentarily, but Levi Nelson has it. Nelson getting himself a little bit of room here. Here's a centering pass. It's still bouncing around. Nixon trying to get it out, did get it out to the neutral zone. Some pressure here by Swift Current. Here comes Wilson. Wilson throws it in front. His shot is blocked. Glove, but not out. Nelson shoots. Blocked by Ryan White. And out it goes to Schultz. Potential break for Nixon. Walking in. No. Nixon gets himself at too sharp an angle. He's very tired as he can barely get to his own bench. Great opportunity for Brock Nixon. Unbelievable breakaway opportunity for that sharpshooter. It's his second one in the series, and he hasn't scored on a breakaway yet. This one is offside at the line. Brock Nixon almost ended it.
Watch the puck roll on Nixon. Schultz to Nixon. Watch the puck, folks. Watch it, watch it. It's on in right there. That's the problem he had with it, and that did not allow Nixon to get real good chance to get that puck upstairs underneath the crossbar. And Yonkman, recognizing Dan that puck was rolling the way it was, played him perfectly.
No way I would have bet on a second overtime period. No way would have that been something I would lay money down on.
8-3 shots on goal this period. Overtime period favoring the Hitmen.
15 seconds to go in the first overtime. Molly has it cut off. Here's Kozin. Oh, and he's stopped by Yonkman with just 3 seconds, now 2 seconds remaining. Kozin has his best scoring chance of the night.
Molly gets beat by that puck on the half wall right there on the giveaway, and how quickly it comes to Kozin. There's the shot, and Kozin, there's Molly, tries to get it out, it doesn't work, gets it to Kozin. He's at the top of the slot area. A little bit of help by the other Swift Current defenseman in that case there in front of the net. It looked like it was a pretty good job by Claffey. 2 seconds left. There's the face-off.
Go ahead, Kelly Kissel. Pull your goalie. 2 seconds to go in a period.
I dare you.
All right. The horn sounds, and against all odds, we're going to do it again. A double overtime.
Well, yeah, it's just amazing. You know, the thing about this, I think, Dan, is that both teams are so good offensively, but believe me, when you're that good a skating hockey club, you're pretty good defensively too, because you don't get beat a lot, and that's been a big factor, I think, also why there were no goals scored that period.
Yeah, but Ryan White, how did he not score? I mean, that was the best chance of all the chances we saw in that overtime, the Ryan White one. There were a few, but Ryan White, I mean, he's got to be shaking his head.
I mean, it just hits the stick of the defense. Was that Claffey in front of the net? My goodness. I mean, did I hear the horn go in the building?
Yeah, the guy who blows the horn when they celebrate the goal. Red light did not go on.
No.
I thought for sure he was going to end it there, but obviously the Hitmen will be shaking their heads a little bit, but they've been the best team in terms of chances throughout most of the night.
Yeah, they've got a lot of shots on Yonkman. It's almost a case where the 5 goals have gone in the Swift Current net. You could almost make Yonkman one of the 3 stars. That's how strange it's been. It's been terrific goaltending and a ton of offense. Probably even more offense, Dan, and speed and quickness than I even expected.
Me too. And he expected a lot, believe me. Let's go to camp.
All right, thanks, guys. Tim Keller here, assistant coach of the Broncos. Tim, you realize it's 2008, not 1988. The way this thing's going, it's back and forth, river hockey. Did you think we'd be going to a second OT the way that thing was going?
Well, the way this game has gone today, Cam, I certainly didn't expect that we'd get through a full overtime period without a goal being scored. And it's not for lack of trying on both sides. There were some great chances on both ends. I thought that particularly in the opening few minutes and then over the closing stretch as well, some things really happened. Our guys have got to be better and just way more diligent on our changes. I think that Calgary's getting the jump probably about 15 seconds in advance of our turn, and with that long change in that period, it made it really difficult in the defensive zone. So we got caught a few times. We'll have to adjust for the second period.
Are you okay with trading chances like that, though?
Well, you know what? I would say that based on the way the game has gone tonight, we're fortunate to be in a second overtime period. Travis Yonkman has been outstanding for us, and if it comes down to a chance either side, I like our opportunity of putting it in their net.
Well, you certainly have some guys that can score goals. You've been able to use a lot of them, and you have depth on this team. Has that been one of the reasons of success this year, the amount of depth this team has?
Well, it certainly has. I'd say depth and our resolve and resiliency as well. I mean, you know, to be up a few goals, 2 goals to start, and then 3 goals, and then come back and compete after they tied the game up. The goals we scored tonight were absolutely of the highlight reel variety, and I would expect that you're going to see something similar in this second OT frame.
Tim, thanks very much.
All right, thank you.
Tim Keller, assistant coach for the Swift Current Broncos. We'll send it to Dan Elliott.
Yeah, some good insight from Tim Keller, who, of course, was a former head coach in Trail for the BCHL's Trail Smokiers. All right, we got to take a quick break, but when this overtime comes back, we got a feature on Scott Bonner, the GM of the Giants, as well as Cam Moon will be back. It's 5-5 after overtime. We're going to double overtime here on Strauss Herb, WHL Hockey on Shaw. The diehard fans are hanging around for this one. We're going to double overtime in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinal between Swift Current and Calgary. 5-5 through 80 minutes of play. Unbelievable. Should tell you the shots in this game, actually. 54-28 in favor of the Calgary Hitmen. You heard Tim Keller talking about how well their goaltender, Travis Yonkman, has been playing. Now, one of the other series going on over in the Western Conference, the Vancouver Giants taking on the Spokane Chiefs. That series tied at 1. They will resume their series tomorrow night in Vancouver. Now, a big reason for the Vancouver success over the years is not only Don Hay, their head coach, who gets a lot of the accolades, but it's their GM, Scott Bonner. He's been there since day 1 of the operations, and he's a big reason why they're doing so well. Scott Bonner has spent the better part of his life hanging out in a hockey rink. Recognizing at a young age his future in the game was behind the scenes rather than on the ice, he broke into the WHL as a 16-year-old, scouting games for the New Westminster Bruins.
I wasn't a very good player. I recognized it. I actually wasn't very tall or big at that time, so my thing was I liked the sport. I was helping coach. My brother was a pretty good player, so I watched him a lot, and you know, one thing led to another, and via coaching, it turned into scouting, which turned into management.
Ron Toigo first met Bonner in 1991 when he owned the Tri-City Americans, and the then 20-year-old was one of the club's area scouts in Edmonton. Over the next 10 years, Bonner eventually would become the Americans' head scout, but refused to make the move to the States to become general manager. That all changed when Toigo purchased a new franchise in Vancouver. He convinced Bonner to make the move to the West Coast and build a team from the ground up.
There was a saying with Montreal Canadiens, because Elmer Benning was one of the first guys that I worked with, and he always said you win with talent, you fill in with size and character. And it was sort of a model that we took along, and our scouts use it today. And you know, we try to get the best player we can, and if there's, you know, when you break it down after that, we want some size or gritty guys that, you know, are willing to play for the team.
He's really evolved in the general manager's role in Vancouver over the last number of years, and be able to take more of it in, understanding more of the business aspects of it, and I think he's really grown into the job and done, I think, the best job in the entire hockey league.
In just 5 years, the Giants were WHL champions. That year, Bonner was named the Dubs Executive of the Year. 12 months later, they won the Memorial Cup. Bonner and his scouting staff's hard work and perseverance finally paid off, which felt even better considering how difficult the first few years in Vancouver were.
We traded Andrew Ladd. That was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I should get out of here. I should get out of the city. But, you know, I surrounded myself with people that I trust. Brought my brother here. We've had good coaching pretty much the whole way through. And we've had good scouts. Jason Ripplinger has been here with me since Tri-City days, so he's sort of the right-hand man I have. And, you know, his scouting staff does a hell of a job.
We've been through a hell of a lot of learning curves, and I think we made every mistake in the book in Tri-City, so we felt by the time we got to Vancouver, we just about had them all covered. So we've made a few since we got here, but for the most part, it's worked out pretty well.
He does have a real burning desire to win and, you know, to be part of a winning organization. And, you know, I think he quietly has gone about that.
Quietly is the operative word when it comes to Bonner. Rarely seen in the media, he, unlike a former NHL GM in this city, would rather work the phones and watch games, letting Toigo and Hay handle the wandering minds of the local scribes.
If too many people want the limelight or what have you, or real front and center, it doesn't work. So from my perspective, my scouts' perspective, we sit back, we do our jobs, put our nose to the grindstone. When you have a good coach, it's like when the Detroit Red Wings had Scotty Bowman. You never knew Ken Holland, he was sort of behind the scenes, and that's sort of how we're patterning ourselves here.
It is a relationship that has clearly worked for everybody involved, and most likely will for a long time to come. That is, unless Ed Schneider comes calling.
If you go back to high school, I wanted to manage the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm a huge Philly fan, so my goal was to manage Philly, but this is just a good second place to be. So I'm happy with where I'm at and, quite comfortable.
We are headed to double overtime. That's right. Swift Current and Calgary tied at 5 through 80 minutes of play. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more right after this on Strauss Herb, WHL Hockey on Shaw. Who will play hero tonight? We are going to double overtime between Swift Current and Calgary, 5 through 80 minutes to play. I can't believe I'm saying that, considering there was 10 goals in the first 60 minutes. But Cam, you know what? I guess the big story of that overtime, just all the chances for Calgary. I can't believe they did not put this one away.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Ryan White didn't put it in when Keegan Dansrow puts his stick just in the way. And he didn't get much of it either.
Hey, that's all it takes, just a little bit.
Unbelievable. This has been as good an overtime as you'll ever see. And you talk about the Western Hockey League and putting its best foot forward in the playoffs, and it does all the time, but we're able to witness it here tonight. Just an outstanding game. The Calgary Hitmen haven't given up after being down 2-0, after being down 5-2. They battled back in this one. The Broncos trying to hold on, unable to hold on to the lead in the third period. We could have had 10 goals in that overtime if they would have continued playing after the first one, but unbelievable. Just a great game.
Now, you're sitting down there between the benches. I'm up here in the crowd, and I'm getting the crowd's perspective when they see the referees not calling anything. The whistles have been put away. Do you think we might see one here in the second overtime? Because usually at this time, maybe we'll help them and try to end it.
Unless somebody gets tackled on a breakaway, or it's one that's not a judgment call at all. If the puck's flipped over the glass or somebody gets high-sticked. Beyond those, I don't think there's going to be a call. And the benches, for the most part, weren't too upset about the non-calls in the OT. They realize it's time to let these guys play, and I think it'll have to be something monumental before that whistle comes out.
You talked about it in that period there of overtime, about the shortened benches in terms of Calgary going with 4 defensemen. Do you think that'll change in double overtime?
I highly doubt it. I really do. The fact that they get an intermission here, the fact that a guy like Carl Alsner is used to playing a lot of minutes, and he's got to play a lot here tonight, I think it'll stay the same. I think the Hitmen will go with the 4D. Alsner was out there with Stone. Seabrook was playing with Postma, and those guys we're seeing every shift. And in the OT, you didn't see a lot of Dan Mercer and Alex Plant. Not that they aren't good defensemen. No, they're very good defensemen. But the 4 that we mentioned first, those guys are great skaters, and in a game like this, you need great skaters.
All right, Cam, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard one more time before we get to Dan and Bill. We talked about this. Lethbridge getting the big win, 5-2 tonight. Man, they had 4 power play goals. They lead that series 2-1. As for Tri-City and Seattle, well, guess what? Tri-City got the winner. Precision had the winner there for the Americans. They lead that series 2-1, and looks like they're back on track after that ugly first game. All right, that does it for us right here. We're going to send it back to Dan and Bill with their thoughts.
Yes, thanks. And when the Pacific time zone games end before this one, it's a long night of hockey. How many shots do you think, I have the answer here, but how many shots do you think Brock Nixon has?
I bet you he's had 12.
11, good guess. How many Levi Nelson?
2.
1.
Well, so, there you go. That's a big difference. Nixon has been awesome.
Show us the goal. Show us the overtime highlight. Goal, almost won.
Well, this is a good chance by the Broncos, but Ryan White comes back and does a super job of just getting the stick at Tassoni right there. And this is how close the Hitman came. This is a backhand off the post. You may get a look at it right here. That line changes lanes so beautifully. Then White with the open net. How does this puck not go in? Take a good look at this, folks. There it is. Chalk it up. The reason that puck has been deflected, watch it. There it goes off the shaft of the stick and out of play. And then, Nixon with a good opportunity. That's the play we're talking about right there. Nixon right here. I love what he does on this play right here. Just as that puck rolls, Yonkman makes a terrific play to stick check him. Watch Yonkman. As soon as that puck rolls, there.
Yes.
It stick checks him as soon as he realized that he's having a problem with it. And then right at the end of that overtime, Dan, Kozin in the high slot area. Nixon has spent a lot of time right there. This time it's Kozin with a shot. Really, there's that giveaway. You turn that puck over, it'll end up with a shot or a chance on net.
Okay, we're going to keep it right here, and we're going to go right to the second overtime period. As you look at Dean Chenault and his Swift Current Broncos. And even though they've given up a lot of chances, they are such a high-octane team. You know it's still a coin flip, this game. This game is such a coin flip. Here's Calgary on the attack right away as Nixon can't get the shot away, and Keegan Dansero starts back. Dansero hits the blue line. His shot deflects out of play.
I don't know if we mentioned this, but Martin Jones in goal for the Calgary Hitmen, taken over from Dan Spence. He had an 18-8-0-1 record during the season, at 2.12 goals against average. Dan, this is what I like, a .911 save percentage. So certainly a very good prospect as a 17-year-old goaltender.
In fact, very nicely rated on the Central Scouting last report. Here comes Nixon. Nixon darting in, trying to get around Stamler. Now it's back at the goal for Schultz. Wilson checking him. Schultz puts it to Gagliardi. Gagliardi fighting for a little bit of space over there. Gagliardi goes around the back of the net with one hand on the stick, turns, shoots. Yonkman's waiting there, but can he collect the rebound? No, Elsner was jumping in. They're banging at the puck. Oh, there's the whistle. Even though the puck was sitting there, was that a fast whistle? Did the referee lose sight? I'm not sure what happened, but Swift Current was about to clear it off the line anyway.
Yeah, Gagliardi, good work on the forecheck, turn, spin around. Boy, Yonkman wanted that puck back in a real hurry. He lost it, but he maintained his position. Look at that puck end up right in the crease. Watch the blue paint, folks. He can't control it there. Watch the paint.
And that's when the whistle blew. But Swift Current was clearing it at the time. Here's Bordas in front of the net. Gagliardi save. Rebound. What a save by Yonkman. Another chance, and it goes wide of the net. Unbelievable save by Yonkman off Kozin. His 57th shot on goal tonight is probably his best save of the night. Feldy turns, shoots, and Jones has that one. Oh, tremendous goaltending by Travis Yonkman. Wow.
Nah, it doesn't get better than this, folks. No way. That's a good save right there. Look how quickly he's up. And then he absolutely sprawls, throws himself to make that save. He's trying to get back into the play. Get another look at it here. This in itself, right there was a good save. He's up quick. Somehow decides, I've got to get that puck in the air, and does a great job of keeping this game 5-5.
Jones keeps it at the side of the net for Postman. Postman comes out of his own zone slowly. It's about the slowest thing we've said tonight. Usually so fast, it turned into an icing actually on Calgary.
Well, you know, I'm sure what Dean Chenault is thinking, hey, our goaltenders kept us in this. You know, let's turn around. The shots on goal that first overtime were 9-3. Now you see a couple big saves from Yonkman, as we just talked about. Another look at it. It's just too good. You got to look at it again. That is spectacular. Chenault may be thinking, well, maybe, just maybe, sometimes it goes exactly the other way.
And it very much could turn out that way. There's one that sails through the crease area, hit the referee on this side. Let the Hitmen get it. And out at center, it's Rowinski. He just could throw it to the Swift Current line. Doyle fell as he got it inside the Calgary line. Hitmen knock it off the boards out to the neutral zone. And here comes Swift Current. Eakin bodied off the puck. Seabrook has it. Now to Nixon. Now to White. White going wide. Shot. Turned aside. Or just shot wide. I'm not sure if Yonkman got a piece of that or not. Stamler plays it over to Wilson, who will go behind his own net. He's being watched by White. Wilson out of his own zone. Tassoni inside the Calgary zone. Weak shot turned aside, but Tassoni gets it back. Tassoni comes out from back of the net. Rolls off his stick. Schultz over on that far side with Elsner. Tassoni comes up with a loose puck as he tries to spin off the boards. Who's going to come up with this one? It comes out to the neutral zone. Every battle is under the microscope because it can lead to something so quickly. Dancero, back of the net. Nice job by Elsner. He gets the puck, and here comes Brock Nixon. Nixon right on the tape to Kozin. Going in, backhand shot, stopped by Yonkman again. Here comes Weiss. Drop pass. It's Smith in front of the net, and it doesn't reach the front in the blue shaded area where it was about to go. Had that last Calgary defenseman not intercepted the pass. Bordas now up for Kozin. Kozin. Now Bordas and Smith will battle. Who's going to come out with this one? Gagliardi from the backboards. Gagliardi in front. Shot in traffic is knocked down. Another battle in the corner. Molly switches it to the near side. Swift Current with it. And out they come with Weiss. Weiss up for Feldy. Missed him. Here comes Bordas. Bordas crosses in over the line, and his shot is stopped by Yonkman. And that's either shot 59 or shot 60, but they're in that neighborhood.
Now watch Alzner in his zone. In the overtime, you want to make good plays. This is Dansero and Alzner. Keep your eye on what happens. That little tap off the back wall allows Alzner to cleverly make that pass. And another save by Yonkman. Kozin going hard to the outside with the backhand. Every shot on goal is so important. And another one by Yonkman. 59-30 shots on goal. We're tied at 5.
Longest ever Calgary game I know is 38 minutes of overtime. I don't have the Swift Current one. I know the Calgary Hitmen in Red Deer in 2004 played that much overtime. There's a battle for the puck, and is it going to be held in by Stone? Just barely. Dudas around the near boards to Elsner. And it comes back to Elsner. There's a long shot. Deflects off the target. Eakin back of the net. Couldn't come up with a loose puck. Sawney and Rowinski have it. And now Swift Current gets it. And Doyle out of his own zone. Taken off his stick. Here's McMillan. There are 3 Broncos back. McMillan shot wide. And out of play.
Now the young line of Eakin, Dowling, and Woodrick certainly getting as much time as any line in the overtime. And you know, Justin Dowling, a 17-year-old from Cochrane, Alberta, was the top scorer in the Alberta AAA Midget Hockey League last year, and he's made a terrific adjustment to the Western Hockey League and does such a good on the half boards, too, at the half wall. So maybe it's a guy with that kind of experience scoring that ends up getting you the winner in a game like this.
Nixon puts the puck just in over the line, but a shot down the ice. This will be icing on Swift Current.
I looked at Dudas on the ice as well for the Swift Current Broncos. A very, very solid job for a guy that's missed a couple of the playoff games, and conditioning still always a factor in a case like that. That's a guy that's had a terrific game tonight for the Swift Current Broncos. As I've said, not a whole lot better than Dansero has been tonight.
Face-off won by Calgary. Elsner shot blocked. Elsner from the line again, shoots it, deflects off the target by Nixon. Nixon over on the far side, bodied off the puck. Tassoni couldn't get it out. Down low it goes to Nixon again. Tries to get it to Ryan White, could not. Nixon does get it to White now. There's a centering pass intercepted by Stamler. Tassoni couldn't control it cleanly, but he was able to get it out. That's most important. Get it out of your own zone. Stone to Elsner. Past the 5-minute mark of the second overtime here in Calgary, Alberta tonight. Game 3, Game 4 is tomorrow. Here is Gagliardi spinning in that corner, trying to get away from Stamler. Gagliardi throws it in front, but there was no white shirt there. Seabrook got to it, but his shot is blocked. Here comes Tassoni with Dansero. Dansero, pass over to Smith. Oh, and Jones looked behind him. He made the save, but boy, he had a quick peek behind him as it looked like for a moment it might squeeze through. It did not.
You know, this is good puck movement by the Swift Current Broncos right inside their own blue line. Watch Smith. He'll come down that right side, and he's just waiting for that pass. He wants that one-timer in the worst way. Jones with the save. And the best news that you can have when you're a goaltender is to look behind you and see nothing behind you, because you don't always know where the puck is. But Jones made a very good save there on a pretty good shooter. Zach Smith, leading scorer for the Broncos.
And they win the face-off in the offensive zone, but only for a moment. Here comes Rowinski, 2-on-2. In on Flappy, centering pass, and it goes through the goal mouth area. Stieler gets it out to center. Weiss tries to tip it through. Weiss has the most shots on goal tonight for Swift Current players. He has 6 shots on goal, including a goal in the first minute many hours ago. There's a long shot, rebound, and it goes wide of the net. Smith had a golden chance, but he couldn't get a clean shot away. One of the better Swift Current chances of the overtime periods. Postma fights off everybody to gain the Swift Current line. It's still Postma. Postma still has it. Wrap around attempt, and he couldn't finish it off. He went coast to coast. There's a cross-ice pass to Schultz, just off his stick. Nixon to Ryan White to Carl Elsner. Elsner shot, blocked, rebound, swept away. And the Broncos have it. Out they come. Smith should be tired, no? No, he didn't get it in deep.
And now he's got a back check.
Nixon shoots high and wide. A rising hard shot by Brock Nixon caroms off the glass all the way out to the neutral zone. Nearing the 7-minute mark of the second overtime period. Elsner going back to chase it. Eakin with his great speed almost got there first. Does get the puck. Throws it in front. Another pass. Eakin shot. Safe. Rebound is no. It's not there. I thought the rebound was perhaps going to get on Woodward's stick, but Jones controlled it, and Eakin made a lot of that happen.
And the thing they're talking about is getting a guy open in the slot. You see Elsner going back in that area. Remember I said get one guy back in the high slot area. That puck was just blocked on the way to Woodruff, and then it's this play right here. Boy, that's a good shot in that zone right there. And again, nice job by Jones to make that save.
Calgary trying to get it out of their own zone, and they do. Gagliardi got it in over the line, and he's going to get it back again in that corner. Gagliardi checked off the puck. Keegan Dancero checked off the puck, gets it back again. Dancero's shot is deflected out of play.
Yeah, Dancero again, he's not to be denied as he comes down that right side. He works hard, he gets that puck back. You know, this is Postma. He had just made a real good play in his defensive zone. And then you look up about 15 seconds later, and he's trying to play on the offensive zone with a wraparound. Boy, that good effort going down that right side. Kozin was really doing a job back checking on Dancero. And finally, when he went to take the shot, it was deflected up into the netting.
Against all odds, the overtime continues. Nearing the 8-minute mark of the second overtime period in a game that has had 10 goals. Rowinski crosses in over the line. Dudas stays with him as the puck is sent in deep. Rowinski on the near boards cannot come up with it. Feldy can. Cross-ice pass. Weiss will try to collect it off the board. Throws it in front of the net. Smith couldn't get it. Battle on this near side. Hitmen chip it out to the neutral zone. Doyle's got it. Doyle's lead pass misses everybody. No icing as that hit one of the Calgary players. Postman back to get it. Calming things down ever so slightly, and here comes Ryan White. White pass up to Nixon, tipped in. Yonkman plays it around the glass. Nixon, Schultz, Nixon lost it. Here comes Dowling back the other way. Dowling to Woodrick. Woodrick in front of the net, and they couldn't redirect it. Eakin was going hard to the net. Here is a chance from the corner boards. Centered in front by Eakin. He gets it back again, but that pass is intercepted as he tried to find Wilson in the circle. Nixon stripped of the puck by Eakin. The hard-working Eakin. Pass to Dowling. Back in front of the net, and they couldn't connect on the pass to Woodrick. Oh, this Eakin just continues to impress. He's having a great overtime period. A couple of very good shifts back-to-back by this 16-year-old. Remember his name.
Oh yeah, Cody Eakin.
He's going to be a star in this league, it looks like. Come to Postma at the point. That shot sails wide of the goal. Seabrook. Seabrook almost stripped of it by Nelson. Dancero. Now it's forced out. Molly. Not sure what to do with it. Buys himself some time. Levi Nelson. quiet tonight. As I mentioned, just one shot on goal. This is a guy who can score. Tassoni with Nelson. Tassoni back to Nelson. Dancero trying to follow up. The puck bouncing for Nelson. Can he get a shot? Wide of the net. Oh, he had a chance from a nice place on the ice to finish the game, but he couldn't get it on goal. Down the ice it goes. Icing on Calgary.
Dan, sometimes rushes into the opposing zone aren't necessarily pretty. This one here by the big line of Nelson, Tassoni, Dansero, same thing. This is Tassoni. You know, Calgary tries to shut down lanes. That puck stays alive. It stays alive. And finally, Nelson finds it. But by then, he's got to go too far into the corner of the rink to make a pass and doesn't really get a good shot on goal. But some real good work there by the Swift Current Broncos. And actually pretty good defense by Kelly Kissio's team as well.
Think they're still up in Cadillac?
Well, I hope so. Folks, I mean, even those people at the Swift Current Arena that are watching it, you guys enjoying it back there?
Well, they probably are. They're probably cheering you when you ask that question. Face-off, offensive zone one for the Broncos. Dudas at the blue line, puts the puck back of the net. Stone's got it. Out to the neutral zone. Rowinski had it, couldn't control it. Smith, he lost it. Rowinski sends it in deep. We're midway through the second overtime. Dudas from back of his net. Calgary's been stuck on 59 shots for a few minutes.
That's the good news for the Broncos. And they're coming on a little bit. They seem to get a few chances. That's a turnover in that center of the ice area.
Nixon cut off by Smith as he put it back at the net. Nixon along these near boards. Good job by Weiss to win that battle. Up to Smith. Smith brings it in over the blue line. Zach Smith dumps it to the corner, or he tried to, but he dumped it out of play.
Cam, you were talking about the Calgary Hitmen going with 4 defensemen. Can you tell anything on the Broncos if they're throwing that fourth line out much? I know Feldy, I just saw him out there.
No, they're not. They've really tightened things up with the forwards, the Swift Current Broncos, and we haven't seen much of that fourth line, if at all, here in the overtime. The Calgary Hitmen continue to go with 4 defensemen, so things have tightened up on both sides.
You talk about depth. Feldy, a 25-goal man. He's not getting out there much. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Dancero's been such a tower of strength. None on the ice right now, but he's the guy I think for Swift Current if there was going to be a Bronco in it. And you somehow think Nixon might be there. He's been just around the puck so much tonight. But who knows how it's going to end and who will end it. Meantime, we keep enjoying it as Wilson brings it in over the line. Puts it down to the corner. Dowling trying to get it. Gagliardi puts it behind the net for Postma. Postma up to Kozin. Kozin will send it in. Didn't get it in deep, but they are trying to make a change. Wilson tries to find McAvoy behind the defense. Now Feldy is out there, and here he comes. Feldy going wide. Feldy back of the net. Still Feldy. Now it's Dudas testing Jones, and that's a good save. McAvoy behind the net. Lost it to Carl Elsner. And the puck is shot out to the neutral zone. Troubled by Doyle. Race for the puck. Still loose. Sawney turns and he can't get a shot away. Youngman came out, gambled, and he won the gamble. McAvoy back the other way. McAvoy shot, and it goes wide of the net. Feldy on the far side. Doyle on the far side. Doyle taken down. Puck loose. Still loose. Elsner switches it, plays it hard around the glass, and out it comes to the neutral zone. Wow. Youngman almost got trapped out of his net. 7:25 remaining in the second overtime period. Levi Nelson to Keegan Dancero. Nice move. Then it's Schultz taking it off his stick. Pass up for Nixon, trying to get behind the defense. Can't get a shot away. Nixon cut off nicely by Claffey. Dumps it to the corner. That was a promising rush by Nixon, but he couldn't get behind the Swift Current defense. There's a chance in the slot. Nixon shot! Stopped by Youngman. There's the whistle. And Youngman faces shot number 60.
Feldy on the ice, hard down that left wing, makes a nice play to get that puck out to Dudas. Dudas with the shot right here. I don't know if that gets through or not. I think it does. Jones makes a save. Watch Yonkman on this play right here. Two things. He gambles on that play. Now watch him make the check. Sticks that stick out. Knocks that puck safely into the corner of the rink. And here's the last chance that we're talking about. Good play by White in that position there. Shot. This time Yonkman looks behind him.
And here's a break for Weiss going back the other way. Weiss shoots. Save rebound. Oh, and it's just swept away by Seabrook. That was a close call. The rebound especially. And Seabrook had to sweep it away. Chances at both ends. Calgary trying to chop the puck out. They do. Cozen misses his man. It goes back into Bronco territory. And it's icing on Calgary.
Now the latest chance comes from the blue-shirted Swift Current Broncos, Dale Weiss. He gets a chance going down that left wing, and I think Seabrook 7 does a real good job right here. That rebound comes out, and I think Seabrook does a wonderful job of checking Weiss and making sure that nothing really more dangerous than that one shot, one chance happened on that rush.
From the face-off, Doyle keeps it in, gets it down low, centering pass, Eakin shot. Not sure if Jones got a piece of that or not. Another chance here for Swift Current. McMillan sends it in. Yonkman handles it, plays it. Sawney fans on it, but McMillan turns and hits the goalpost. McMillan hits the goalpost, and we continue tonight here in Calgary. The chances have been unbelievable, but the game continues. Here's McMillan again. Shot again. This one's blocked. Carson McMillan hits the post. Elsner shoots the puck in. Dudas plays it around these near boards. Back to the line. Elsner shot. That's knocked down in front of the net. Hit White. Dowling dumps it out. White jumps on it, and there they come again. Schultz. Schultz, hard pass over to Nixon, but he had to take it on his back end. Couldn't get a shot away. Nixon lost it. Eakin had it, lost it, but it's followed up by the Broncos, and out they come. Good idea. Keep playing the young Eakin. He's getting things, or he's making things happen for Swift Current on many of his shifts. He does go to the bench here. Here comes Dansereau. Dansereau going wide, throws it in front, and it goes off a skate of Postma, just wide of the net. Post call in front of the Calgary net. Another turnaround shot. Another rebound over top the net. Oh, the save and then the high shot as the Broncos have turns trying to end this marathon, which is quickly turning into a classic here in the Western Hockey League, if it isn't already. You enjoying it, Bill?
Oh,
I can't get over it.
I mean, there's everything. There's pucks going in open nets that look like they're going to end the game, and they end up off post. Watch this one here. I think Sawney kind of fans on that puck. Watch it right there, and Carson McMillan says, I can take that thing, and just rings it right off the goalpost. Get a good look at it here. Oh, just on the outside of the post, mind you, but doesn't make much difference. It stayed out of the net.
Broncos win an offensive zone faceoff. Doyle at the blue line. There's a shot, and you can see the Broncos are being told, just get everything you can on the net.
Never a bad idea, huh?
No.
What do we say? It's not always your best play to get it on the net, but it's never your worst.
And in overtime, it's probably your best. Stone almost got crossed up with the linesman. Plays it over to Elsner. Up to Bordas. In for Gagliardi. Can't get a shot. Throws it in front. And it's intercepted, and Feldy starts back the other way. Feldy through the neutral zone, into the offensive zone, and then taken off his stick, but it's followed up by Smith. Couldn't get a shot away, and Calgary gets it out to the center ice area. Here comes Swift Current once more. This is Wilson. Wilson going in, and he lost control of the puck. Gets it back again. Wilson roaming around that Calgary zone. Still Wilson with the puck. He's done one lap. Can he do another? Tries to throw it in front. Cannot. Comes back to the blue line. Here's Stamler, his shot. Knocked down. And Jones has got it. He holds on to stop the play. Brenton Stamler taking the shot from the blue line. He's played 26 games. He never had a playoff goal. What a night it would be to get one.
Well, you called it. This is Wilson doing laps out there. Absolutely. Get that puck on the net. Jones finds it. Good heads-up play right there. Delecki back to the point. Here comes the shot. Sometimes that shot is deflected on the way to the net. Dan, if that takes the right bounce, it's sometimes your most dangerous play, the deflected shot front. And I'm talking about the one that's partially blocked, or
yes.
almost sometimes totally blocked.
Calgary out of their own zone. 16 and a half minutes into the second overtime. They flip it in. Yonkman leaves it for Claffey. Claffey up to Woodrick. Woodrick checked off the puck by Nixon. Schultz trying to keep it in. Here is White. Oh, he one times it, and it's high and wide. Postma, Seabrook, Ryan White. Pass up the middle to the blue line. Couldn't connect with Schultz. Ryan White will send it in. And another line change. There's been a million of them. They're keeping their shifts as short as possible.
Interesting what Tim Kaler was saying before, too. You don't want to get caught on a line change where you're about 15 seconds late getting out on that line change. That could be a big difference.
First overtime period more pronounced on those line changes because it's such a long change. I haven't seen that in play as much in the second overtime. Dancero gets the puck down low. Here's Nelson centering it for Tassoni. Turnover, chance, and a puck put wide of the net by Dancero. Levi Nelson from behind the goal, protecting the puck, playing it back to the line. Dudas over to the other side. Doyle shot. That's knocked down, and the Hitmen get possession of the puck. There's a turnover. Here's Tassoni. Tassoni shot at the flex wide to the far corner. Now it's Stone behind the net. We're approaching the longest game in Calgary Hitmen history. Puck shot into the corner. Here is Smith trying to throw it in front. Hit the back of the net. Carl Elsner trying to check him. Elsner puts it back at the goal. Stone has it. He plays it high off the glass. Intercepted. Stone plays it over to the other side. Elsner will try the far side. This time it comes out to the Swift Current zone. I mentioned that game that went 38 minutes and 45 seconds. I believe we just will hit that in the next 10 seconds, making this the longest Calgary Hitmen game ever.
I don't sense a whole lot of slowing up out there, man. I mean, it's a tad slower. I mean, but not a whole lot. I know the line changes are awful quick.
Stamler will come out of his own zone. Pass onto the stick of Wilson. Turnover, and here comes Ryan White. White. Still White. Shot scores! Ryan White has ended the longest Calgary Hitmen game in playoff history. The Hitmen win 6-5. They lead the series 2-1.
Dan, I don't want to use that word turnover too often. I don't want you to get sick of me talking about it, but watch it. You can't turn that puck over in that area against a good skating team. But boy, does Ryan White do a great job of buying himself a little bit of room to make that play. Watch it right here. He knows that he's got to get that puck into an area where he can get the shot. Oh my goodness. He has been a terrific hockey player tonight for the Calgary Hitmen. In fact, that line of Schultz, White, and Nixon have been terrific. There's your hero.
On to the 62nd shot on goal for Calgary. Ryan White, who had the most unbelievable chance of the first overtime period, ends it at 19:08 of the second overtime period. Wow, what a game tonight in Calgary. The final score, Calgary 6, Swift Current 5. We've got more to come. It's the Western Hockey League playoffs on show. Back in Calgary, the Calgary Hitmen have taken a 2-1 lead in the series. Yeah, I mean, Bill and I have literally been doing games in one way or another in this league since the 70s. And I'm not going to say that's the best game we've ever seen, but it's in the conversation.
There. Yeah, it's amazing. The thing that made that so good for us, I think, Dan, was the high skill level of both teams. This is what was really impressive. You know, the Swift Current Broncos, they're going to rebound. Believe me, they haven't lost 2 in a row since January 11th of this year. And now they've lost 2. They got to regroup, and I think we're in for a whole lot more of that.
All right, the hero of the night is Ryan White. He ended it, and he's with Cam Moon.
Ryan White, game winner. Tell me about the goal.
You know, I was getting over the line there, and you know, we were told just put pucks on net, and you know, I think it was Nixie coming with me there, and usually I'm a passer, so you know, I thought I'd throw it on net. I didn't even know it went in. You know, the boys just kind of jumped me after, but you know, it feels great, and you know, it couldn't come in a better time. We didn't. The third one would have been a little tough, so that was a big goal for us.
You guys really had to battle back. You're down 2-0 in this game. You're down 5-2. How resilient was your team tonight?
Well, good. You know, we got a big boost from Jonesy going in there tonight. That's a tough night for Spence. You know, I don't think we were ready off the start, and you know, we kind of hung him out to dry. But Jonesy stepped in there big, and you know, he's probably our best player tonight. A lot of points, and you know, the rest of us, we know we had to pick up our game. We're at home here. We've had some trouble at home, but you know, that's a big confidence boost for us, and you know, we just gotta enjoy this and be ready for tomorrow.
Ryan, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Ryan White, game winner here tonight as the Calgary Hitmen get the victory. I'll send it back upstairs.
Yeah, thank you, Cam. One thing we've learned in this series, no lead is safe. A 2-goal lead, a 3-goal lead for Swift Current. Calgary had a 2-goal lead in game 1, so we're only 3 games in, and there's been big leads blown 3 times.
Yeah, and isn't it interesting, the guy with the most playoff experience on the Calgary Hitmen team, actually, he and Alsner tied, I think, at 52 games, you know, gets the overtime winner. But Dan, honestly, I don't know what the stars were in the building. I'm assuming he's number 1, but for my money, Ryan White and Brock Nixon were really, really good, although it was a heck of a team effort for both teams. It's a shame the Broncos had to lose tonight.
All right, we'll look ahead to tomorrow night. We're right back here in the Saddle Dome tomorrow night at 7 Mountain Time for game number 4. It's a heartbreaking loss, but you think Swift Current can bounce right back? I do. I really do. There's just too much talent there. There's too much ability to move pucks in a hurry. I think one of the interesting situations, well, who do the Calgary Hitmen come back for a goaltending tomorrow night? Exactly. What do you think?
I think they got to go with Martin Jones. I really do. I mean, Spence has been good. He's their veteran goaltender. He's got more playoff experience, but that was a heck of a move to pull a goaltender that Kelly Kissio did and then come out with a win. And, you know, it was that Jones was awfully strong in the overtimes as well.
All right. Well, it was a great game, and I'm thinking it's going to be a classic game for years to come on Shaw tonight. Let's go back to Dan Elliott.
Thanks a lot, guys. An epic, you bet. You know what? Let's take a look at the Cal Tire 3 stars. Your third star from the Calgary Hitmen, Brock Nixon. He had a pair of goals, including that one to make it 5-4 early in the third to get them back in. And Travis Yonkman, just a great night for him in net for Swift Current. Well, not as great as he would like it to be, of course. 56 saves on the night, but came up just 1 short. And the hero of the game is your first star, Ryan White. He had a goal and 3 assists. His line was huge. White, Nixon, and Schultz had a huge game. They're a big reason, of course, why their team is up 2-1 in this series. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back to wrap things up from the Saddle Dome. You're watching Strauss Herb, WHL Hockey on Shaw. 2 other games on this night. Lethbridge defeating Kootenai 5-2. They managed to hold on to a third period lead in this one. Dwight King led the way with the goal and an assist. They had 4 power play goals and 51 shots on net, dominating the ice throughout the game. Of course, they lead that series 2-1. Tri-City was a 3-2 winner over Seattle. Taylor Precision, he had your game winner. Jim O'Brien had 2 goals in a losing cause. The Americans lead that series 2-1. And in our game tonight, it was the Calgary Hitmen defeating the Swift Current Broncos 6-5 in double overtime. Ryan White, the hero, scoring with 19:08 into the second OT. He had a goal and 3 assists to lead the way. Brock Nixon had a pair, as well as Travis Yonkman made 56 saves in a losing effort for the Broncos. Should mention Martin Jones came in to replace Dan Spence when he gave up 4 goals, made 20 saves on the night, just gave up the 1 goal all game. Of course, the big thing here is Calgary now leads that series 2-1.